Chapter 1769 Detention. Chapter 1769 Detention. How is this possible? Impossible. Zhang Sanqian's face changed. He knew better than anyone how difficult it was to cultivate the 9 days and 10 places killing space. It took him 30 years to cultivate to the second stage, but he had only just entered the second stage. And the killing inner space that was released by the desperate man was completely above him, reaching such a level of purity. This was a peerless cultivation technique that was left behind by the flying goddess. Other than the people from the God-Rare sect, no one had ever cultivated it before. How could he? Zhang Sanqian did not understand. He couldn't understand either. However, the second stage of killing inner space was not aimed at him, but Feng Tianhan. The moment it was released, Feng Tianhan was instantly dumbfounded. With a put-on sound, he kneeled on the ground and said, "I was wrong. I was wrong. Don't kill me. Don't kill me." His crotch was wet. He was scared to the point of peeing. The killing intent of the second level was more than 10 times that of the first level. The feeling of death strangling him was too unbearable. As long as he used a little bit of strength, he would be able to move his head. Zhang Sanqian slightly said, "Please stop." Desperate man didn't even look at Zhang Sanqian. He didn't know why. His bones were filled with disdain, and so was his gaze. It was as if he had the feeling that you don't even have the qualifications to speak to me. At this moment, Long Fei's eyes slightly opened, and the idea said with sound transmission, "Don't kill him, he's mine." In that instant, with a flash of white, he disappeared. Killing inner space instantly collapsed and disappeared along with it. It had happened too fast. Feng Tianhan's body loosened and instantly fell to the ground in a paralyzed state. His body trembled nonstop, his eyes were unfocused, and even the inner demon had curled up in the deepest part of his mind, not daring to make a move. After a long time, Feng Tianhan slowly recovered. Staring at Long Fei, he said, "I want to." Zhang Sanqian slightly shouted, "Haven't you caused enough trouble?" His voice was like thunder, with anger. Feng Tianhan didn't know, but he was very clear that if not for desperate man stopping him, Feng Tianhan would have already died. It wasn't that he didn't have enough skill. It was only because he received a sudden order that he stopped. "Men, bring him back to Reflection Cliff. Reflect on the fact that he can't leave here even half a step without my permission." Zhang Sanqian said heavily. This was a form of punishment and also a form of protection. He knew his disciple too well. He was young and arrogant. No one could stop him from doing what he wanted to do. If he didn't kill Long Fei, he definitely wouldn't stop. He had to calm him down. Feng Tianhan glared at him. He was unconvinced. But when he saw Zhang Sanqian's gaze, he immediately lowered his head and did not dare to speak. Long Fei slowly stood up and looked at the Zhang Sanqian who was not far away. "Xia," Chuyuan replied. "Sect Master, his name is Long Fei." Zhang Sanqian's eyes turned cold, stared at Long Fei for a moment, then said, "First, lock him up, then talk. Who dares to touch my sect head? I'll fight it out with him." Lu Qin and Mu Bing walked over with much difficulty. Lei Jiu also walked over with much difficulty, and there was also Li Ruhua. Zhang Sanqian swept his eyes across them and coldly said, "Imprison them together. Are there any more rebels?" His voice was deep and clear, and the sound waves resounded in everyone's mind like thunder. All of the surrounding disciples were startled and did not dare to make the slightest sound. It also revealed a look of not knowing Long Fei at all. Xia Chuyuan wanted to say something, but before he could say anything, Zhang Sanqian shouted, "Where's the law enforcement hall? Why are you still not executing orders? No one can get close to them without my orders, do you understand?" Huh. The disciples of the law enforcement hall all rushed to Long Fei's side. Lu Qin and Mu Bing looked towards Long Fei. Long Fei shook his head, signaling them not to resist. His life was already hanging by a thread, and he needed some time to recover. If they resisted now, they would all die. Moreover, Zhang Sanqian only said that he would imprison them. He didn't say that he would kill them. As for Feng Tianhan, we won't be able to touch him for a month. 1 month later, I don't know who moves who. Long Fei did not resist, but he was also unable to do so at the moment. Today's examination will continue, Zhang Sanqian said as he looked at Xia Chuyuan, and then returned to the inner sect of God-Rare sect. Lan Feng, you cowardly bastard, Lei Jiao scolded. Lan Feng said with a cold smile, Ninth brother, if you're willing to follow Long Fei, you don't even want your own future. I can't do it. I must become the God-Rare sect's disciple. Just follow him and suffer. Ha ha! Lan Feng walked into the second test team. He didn't want to be a victim. To him, Lei Jiao and the others were already unable to become disciples of the God-Rare sect. Young master, Long Fei has been captured. Moreover, all of his talent has been wasted. Right now, he's a cripple. After Tang Lai was crushed by Long Fei, he left the examination grounds. However, in just half an hour, so many things had happened. Tang Lai's eyes flashed as he laughed complacently, as if he had just revived from being full of blood. Ha ha ha! Long Fei, let's see how you can continue acting arrogant now. God-Rare sect, inner sect, Sky Marshal Palace. The moment he came here, he killed the outer door great presbyter and the second clan elder. This kind of person cannot be allowed to live. I suggest that we kill him. I second that. This person must be a spy from another sect. If we were to spend resources to nurture him, then our God-Rare sect will really become a joke. I also propose to kill him. Too much killing intent, and he's too arrogant. Who does he think he is? Several elder of inner house S. There were also a few outer door presbyter S, and then there was Xia Chuyuan. They were discussing whether Long Fei should stay. Xia Chuyuan said, all 8 of his inherent skills are 10 rating. Who would send such a genius to be a spy? Furthermore, forgive me for my bluntness, but how many of the other 9 sects and the 10 sects place us God-Rare sect in their eyes? They don't need to send spies to spy on us. Sect Master, I suggest that we keep them and think of a way to restore his talent. He will be the hope of our God-Rare sect. Xia Chuyuan said firmly. Elder Xia, you have to understand one thing. The 10 rating of the 8 immortals' inherent skill came a few hours ago. What about now? He's just a good-for-nothing with crippled talent, understand? What do you raise a trash? He came to save the God-Rare sect. He is the hope of the God-Rare sect. Do you think our God-Rare sect is a trash adoption stop? Exactly. Elder Xia, you should wake up a bit more. Many of the elders refuted Xia Chuyuan. Just as they had said, given that his talent had been crippled, it was impossible for him to fix it. There was no such precedent in Devil Island. Furthermore, there was no such spiritual pill. Recovering talent? Wishful thinking. A trash with no inherent skills wants to become a disciple of the God-Rare sect? Dream on. Chapter 1770, I Can Bear It. Chapter 1770, I Can Bear It. A person who did not have a rank talent was just a piece of trash to the common folk in the Devil Island. No matter how strong your innate talent was in the past, with your talent crippled, you are destined to be a piece of trash who will never change. Thus, this was an era that focused on talent. It was just like the world on Earth where one looked at one's face and looked at money. However, Xia Chuyuan did not give up and walked to the center of the hall. I would like to ask, what is the cultivation realm of the outer sect's second elder? The 9th level of the Green Star realm? What is Long Fei's cultivation level after being crippled? A 9-star deity, right? There's a difference of 2 realms. Let me ask you, among those who are doing this, who among them can kill Green Star rank 9 stage experts? I just want to ask, who can do it? We can't. He can. Everyone was silent. Who could forcefully kill him with a jump of 2 realms? Fong Tianhan can't do it either. It was simply impossible for him to achieve the 10 rating inherent skill. How hard was it to kill someone above your level? In their eyes, this was practically impossible. Killing someone 2 levels higher was even more impossible. However, Elder Xia, he killed 2 elders of God-Rare sect. If we do not take care of him, how do you want the other people of God-Rare sect to view this matter? We should just kill them to get what we want. Isn't it just a disciple of the God-Rare sect who dares to kill? If he becomes a disciple of the God-Rare sect, won't he be killing us all? We can't stay. Everyone was still opposed to this. Xia Chuyuan clenched his fists tightly. Walking to the front of the hall, he suddenly knelt and said, "Sect leader, I, Xia Chuyuan, am willing to bet everything." Zhang Sanqian's gaze tensed up. The entire hall fell silent. The majority of the people did not know Xia Chuyuan's identity, but there were some people who knew that he was close friends with the sect master, and that he was even the descendant of a certain powerhouse in God-Rare sect. To everyone's shock, he suddenly knelt down. "Elder Xia, why are you doing this? You are acting on impulse." "Exactly." Zhang Sanqian exhaled lightly and said faintly, "Let Long Fei become an honorary disciple of the God-Rare sect, and cannot get involved in internal affairs of the God-Rare sect, and cannot get close to any secrets. Within 3 years, if his performance is good, then let him become an official disciple. If he doesn't want to, he can leave on his own." Xia Chuyuan immediately replied, "Many thanks, sect master. As long as you are a disciple of the God-Rare sect, whether it be in name or an official disciple, none of this is important. 3 more years. With Long Fei's talent, he would definitely be able to become an official disciple." Moreover, the nominal disciples did not affect any of the selection battles. The elders sighed. Although they were unwilling, they had to accept this. A mere nominal disciple was nothing. Moreover, to make a nominal disciple disappear was too simple. The council dispersed. Inside Zhang Sanqian's courtyard. "Elementary, are you that sure that kid is God-Rare sect's hope?" Zhang Sanqian asked suspiciously. He had never seen Xia Chuyuan kneel for a disciple before. This was great determination. Xia Chuyuan smiled slightly. "Big brother, didn't you also place your hopes on him? Ever since you imprisoned Fang Tianhan, didn't you only want to keep him?" Subconsciously, Zhang Sanqian wanted to keep Long Fei here. However, at that time, he wanted to know who the desperate man was and why he had to protect Long Fei. Zhang Sanqian was startled, then laughed. "Is he really worth our hope?" Xia Chuyuan said resolutely, "It's worth it." "I hope so." Zhang Sanqian laughed bitterly. As the God-Rare sect lord, there were many things he could not do. The God-Rare sect was withering day by day. The internal elders were colluding with each other, and they were secretly taking bribes. He wanted reform. However, it was difficult to move. Fresh blood had to be injected to change that. When he thought that Fang Tianhan was the person he needed to wait for, he repeatedly failed at the 10 sexes exchange, causing him to lose all face. What made him even more sad was that Fang Tianhan had already slowly lost control of himself and was falling to the other side. He was not optimistic about Long Fei's appearance. With his inherent skill crippled, he was now like a cripple. Even though Xia Chuyuan was extremely confident, he still did not think highly of him. With what did he rise? In just a few days, he would probably be pushed out of the mountain range by some interested elders who knew if he would just kill him or not. And he couldn't interfere with all of this. Xia Chuyuan was the same. He could only save Long Fei once, but not the second time. Humph! It all depends on your fate. Zhang Sanqian laughed bitterly, then asked, "How are the disciples recruited by the other sects this year?" The center of Xia Chuan's brows tightened and said, "The entire 10 disciples has been divided among them. I have not seen the other disciples, but I have seen the 3rd strongest person, Nielin." "Nielin from Xinyang sect," Zhang Sanqian slightly said. "She is a peerless genius with superb talent in martial arts training. Not only that, she's also a spirit soul realm powerhouse with a super 10 rating gift. In just 3 seconds, she subdued a rebellious Iron Hand Eagle. In this year's newbie exchange, I'm afraid, the scene of Nielin taming an Iron Hand Eagle appeared in Xia Chuyuan's mind. Zhang Sanqian was also completely shocked. With this inherent skill, he is only ranked 3rd. Seems like our God-Rare sect is about to become a laughingstock again. Sigh. The God-Rare sect was getting weaker and weaker. It was not good for him to be the sect master. If he were to lose this year, his position would probably be taken. The next morning, Xia Chuyuan came to the place where Long Fei was imprisoned and told him the results. "Do you have any objections?" Long Fei shook his head and said, "No, I don't have it at all." Xia Chuyuan sighed and said, It's all my fault that I don't have enough power otherwise. Long Fei said, Elder Xia, please do not say that. If it wasn't for you, I'm afraid the outcome would have been different. I'm afraid we're going to die here. Long Fei was a wise man. Long Fei smiled and said, Elder Xia, there is no need to worry. I will be at God Rare Sect and will not leave. His purpose in coming to God Rare Sect had not been achieved. He definitely wouldn't leave. In the past, he had only found a way for his mother to leave the Devil Island, but now he had a few more things to add, such as crushing Fong Tian'an. He didn't use a skill, but his own strength to crush him. The boulder in Xia Qiuan's heart was put down, and he said, It's great that you can think like this. However, Long Fei, I'm afraid that I won't be able to help you anymore in the future. Long Fei nodded. I can bear it. Chapter 1771. Impulse is the Devil. Chapter 1771. Impulse is the Devil. Xia Qiuan's intentions were very clear. In the future, he would not be able to help Long Fei anymore. Killing someone in the God Rare Sect and getting the #1 disciple, Fong Tian'an, to be punished, Long Fei had already displeased many people, and many people would target him. Then came the beginning of the ordeal. Not only Long Fei, even those who were with Long Fei would be affected. The moment he stepped out of the cell, Long Fei turned his head and looked elsewhere, and did not see Lu Qin, Mu Bing, and the rest. I hope they can take it. Then, a disciple walked up and coldly glanced at Long Fei, and said, Come with me. I name you Junior Brother. Name. That was, he would remember a name in the God Rare Sect. Whether or not he could become a disciple of the God Rare Sect would depend on his own luck. Long Fei did not care about titles. He followed behind the disciple and passed through the small path, bypassing the forest, and only stopped after about an hour. The disciple pointed at a thatched cottage not far away that was almost half collapsed, and said, Well, from now on you will live there. Long Fei was slightly taken aback, then laughed bitterly. Is this the treatment for nominal disciples? That disciple said in disdain, What? Do you still want us to prepare a mansion for you? Kid, what's your identity? If you have a place to live, you'll be burning incense. If you're capable, don't stay. Leave God Rare Sect. Humph. He spoke with disdain. They did not place Long Fei in their eyes at all. That's true. He was an official disciple. Long Fei was only a nominal disciple, and a nominal disciple with a crippled talent at that. In this era where the powerhouse was the ruler, who would respect the weak? Long Fei said, I'll be staying. The thatched cottage in front of them was abandoned, just like before. Not to mention living here, even cats and dogs couldn't stay there and could collapse at any moment. Moreover, the yard was overgrown with weeds. This place was basically an abandoned place, and some elder must have deliberately made things difficult for him. That disciple coldly snorted and said, From tomorrow morning, you can report to the outer sect storage room. You can leave at 7 in the afternoon, but the condition is that you have to complete the mission you gave us. If you dare to slack off or dare to contradict an elder, senior brother, then you should prepare to receive punishment. Long Fei said, Thank you for your reminder, senior brother. Please take care. Take care. He did not put Long Fei in his eyes, and Long Fei did not place him in his eyes either. Just this kind of low-level disciple, he did not have much experience killing others. Looking at the small yard full of weeds in front of him, Long Fei laughed bitterly. Fuck, I didn't expect it to be even more difficult than when I was in God's martial continent. It doesn't matter. This little bit of difficulty is not difficult for me. Back then, I was also a skilled worker. He took out a weapon from the space ring and used it in front of the sickle. Treat the weeds first. As Long Fei mowed the weeds, he thought about his future plans. Ma Fenglei should be the limit of the blasting fist. If he was a bit stronger, the blasting fist would have been completely suppressed and would not be able to be used. Level is one reason. Also, the blasting fist itself is also. Suddenly, Long Fei thought that the blasting fist could also be upgraded, and this skill also had a God-tier experience bar. When he opened the system, the fusion of Rachel and Fruit of Shock still continued. Long Fei could not help but complain, Damn, how long has it been? After that, he ignored them. Long Fei looked at the skill of the blasting fist and muttered, "Only the skill devouring can raise the level of the blasting fist. The skill of devouring. It's a skill that I have to learn before." "Sure, let's give it a try first." Long Fei stopped cutting the grass on the ground and sat down, then opened his own cultivation techniques column: Perfection of Fierce Steps, Virtual Mirror, Divine Beast Fist, Prajna Sword. Let's try using the Prajna Sword first. Ding! System notification. Do you want to devour the Prajna Sword? Yes, sir. The Prajna Sword disappeared from the cultivation technique column, followed by a system notification sound. Ding! Blasting Fist experience plus 100 points. Although the Prajna Sword has not been cultivated to the Great Perfection stage, it is still a pretty good technique. It only increases 100 experience points? Isn't that too darned? Long Fei immediately wanted to stop. However, looking at the experience slot on the Blasting Fist, he had the urge to let it level up. Clenching his teeth, he said, "I'm going all out." Dragon Step. Ding! Blasting Fist experience plus 500 points. Your sister. Your elder skill is at the Great Perfection stage. It's only increased by 500 points. Why don't you King die? Long Fei's heart sank. He was completely stupefied. Sure, to see how awesome you are. He was too impulsive. Long Fei was impulsive. Raising his sleeves, he was already on the verge of losing control. Killing Sword Technique Devour. Ding! Blasting Fist experience plus 80 points. 10,000 Beast Divine Fist Devour. Ding! Blasting Fist experience plus 800 points. One skill after another disappeared. The more they fused with Long Fei, the more impulsive they became. They simply could not stop at all. Long Fei's skill had been completely used up. The entire skill bar was now devoid of skills. Other than the still fusing lightning cut and vibrating fruit, Long Fei no longer had any other skills. Moreover, he, who had lost control of his brain, became even more furious. Ding! System notification. Do you wish to fuse the 8 immortals? Yes, sir. I'm giving my all. Ding! Blasting Fist experience plus 500,000 points. Oh my god, it's only 100,000 points, but... Suddenly, Long Fei calmed down, and, as if a bucket of ice water had been poured down his head, he instantly calmed down. Looking at the system's notification, his gaze glazed over as he muttered, "The 8 immortals, the 8 immortals! I fused them together the moment I appeared, System bro, can we go back? I was wrong. I'm regretting it now. Let's go back. I'm begging you." The system did not respond. Long Fei really wanted to give himself a slap. He impulsively threw the 8 immortals into nothingness. Impulse is the devil. Luckily, the goddess scroll is still here. Otherwise, he would really be at a loss. He complained in his heart. But after looking at the Blasting Fist experience bar, he had already reached the edge of leveling up. His experience points had reached 95% state, so a few more skills should be enough to level up. Thinking that the Blasting Fist would level up soon, Long Fei felt better about the loss of the 8 immortals. "I'm sorry. The next time we meet, I will definitely control my emotions." Long Fei secretly apologized in his heart. Looking at the little remaining experience remaining in the Blasting Fist leveling up, he muttered in his heart, "I need to think of a way to learn more techniques. Where do you find so many cultivation techniques? God Rare Sect should have one, right? If we can go inside." Chapter 1772, Senior Sister. Chapter 1772, Senior Sister. Long Fei fiercely swallowed his saliva. However, he was unable to enter the Kung Fu storage pavilion. It was because of his identity. In here, Long Fei didn't even know where the Kung Fu storage pavilion was. No rush. Tomorrow, Long Fei started to mow the grass again. Other than the auxiliary method, Long Fei did not use any other techniques in the techniques column. All of these did not matter, as he had the abnormal system. As long as he could obtain the level increase of the Blasting Fist, everything was worth it. When he met Powerhouse at the peak of Green Star, he could no longer suppress the Blasting Fist. The night passed in silence. Long Fei piled the weeds together, and slept for an entire night. However, his stomach was a little unbearably hungry. Early morning. Long Fei came to the General Affairs office early to report. These people were mostly honorary disciples like him, who did not pass the examination, but were talented disciples. The God-Rare sect had allowed them to train here for a few years, and in those few years, they would be able to participate in the examination and become an official disciple. If they did not have a good relationship with each other, they could still stay. Being able to stay in 10 sects and become a nominal disciple was something ordinary people looked up to and did not even exist. Long Fei looked around. Amongst them, Long Fei did not see Lei Jiao and the rest, and thought to himself, I hope your situation will be better. Who is that person? New. Him? Senior brother, I know. This is the person who was messing around the day before yesterday called Long Fei. It's him? Ha ha. I never thought that he would actually be dead. I never thought that he would still be able to live and even kill the outer sect leader of our God-Rare sectes, the second-in-command elder. Exactly. His talent is all wasted. Does he think he still has a chance? I've been a nominal disciple for 2 years, and I don't even have a chance. Does he still have a chance? Humph. He's overestimating himself. I heard that many people are dissatisfied with him. It was Elder Xia who used his life to guarantee it for him, but Elder Xia seems to have already been stripped of his identity as an elder. The surroundings resounded with all sorts of noises. Most of them were mocking him. Among these voices, there was some that held useful information about Long Fei, but when he heard that Xia Chuyuan could not use his life as a guarantee to protect him, Long Fei's heart tensed up. He owed her a favor. If he did not rise up, Xia Chuyuan would lose face too. Cough, cough. Coughing sounds could be heard from the duck's throat as a fattening middle-aged man walked out. He looked like an old eunuch on TV, his fingers clutching onto his orchid. The head steward is here. The head steward is here. A few of the registered disciples immediately revealed a loving smile as they bent their knees to welcome him. Seeing their smiles, Long Fei couldn't help but be nervous. F***K, a bunch of gay men. The manager was called Li Yuanqing. He walked up, glanced around, and his gaze unconsciously fell on Long Fei, who was at the back of the crowd. In addition, the head supervisor took out a small book and said, Room of Martial Arts Training needs a disciple to spar with him today. He will earn 5 contribution points if he does. This contribution point will be recorded on all of you. Who's willing to go? Everyone listened. He immediately shrunk. There was a trace of fear in his eyes. Li Yuanqing slightly said, No one is willing to go. And then one of the disciples laughed. Head supervisor, a few newcomers came today. This is a good opportunity for them to gain experience. Such a good opportunity should be given to them. Yes, you're right. Li Yuanqing took a glance at those unfamiliar faces and said, Which one of you is willing to go? A rookie immediately said, Lord Manager, there's a crippled genius among us. We should give him such a good opportunity. Yes, let him go. That's him. A few of them pointed at Long Fei. Li Yuanqing looked at Long Fei and asked, Are you willing to go? Long Fei laughed bitterly. Do I have a choice? Li Yuanqing said, Our General Affairs office has always been very fair, and we approve of the new little brother going to Room of Martial Arts Training to spar with him. Then, other than Long Fei, everyone else raised their hands. We need to make the Room of Martial Arts Training accompany them. If they are unhappy, you will be even more unhappy. Do you understand? As Li Yuanqing spoke, he gave Long Fei a coquettish look. Immediately, Long Fei's chrysanthemum tightened even more. His heart turned cold. F***ck. Long Yang's mania. Long Fei muttered in his heart. Fans are everywhere. Not long later, Li Yuanqing's coquettish voice sounded. Go back and busy yourself. We need to report back at 6 p.m. The crowd dispersed. Long Fei was led by a disciple to Room of Martial Arts Training. Many nominal disciples also came to Room of Martial Arts Training, but they were not training partners, but to clean up. How long do you think he'll be able to last? It depends on the person. If it's someone like Senior Brother Wang Tai, I estimate that he would at most fall to the ground at 3,000. But I heard that Senior Brother Wang Tai has gone into closed-door cultivation. Other than Senior Brother Wang Tai, there's another powerful individual in room of martial arts training. Their gazes turned cold. He immediately said at the same time, "Are you talking about Bawang Hua? Wow, she is much more powerful than the senior brother, and her strength is also extremely terrifying. I heard that she is one of the hottest candidates this year." It's here. Long Fei was brought to the training grounds. A few room of martial arts training disciples immediately surrounded him. "So this is today's punching bag? He's so skinny. How much can he carry? Isn't that Long Fei? It's him, the one that killed the Great Elder?" Martial arts arena exploded once. What kind of status did Great Elder have? The hall master of the outer sect room of martial arts training S. More than half of the room of martial arts training S were his disciples. So this time Long Fei had entered the bandit's nest. Although Ma Fenlei was not a good person and had exploited them before, but to step foot on Long Fei to seek revenge was something every one of them wanted to do. Some people rubbed their hands together, releasing their battle power. "Don't move. He's the live target of senior sisters sparring today." A person shouted, "Senior sister? Which senior sister is it?" "There is another senior sister, senior sister." As soon as he finished, everyone was stunned and did not dare to move forward. At this moment, bam! A loud kacha sound rang out, followed by a series of kacha sounds. These were the sounds of stone shattering. This weight, the scene in Long Fei's mind was already unimaginable. How fat was that? Bawang Hua, senior sister. Long Fei already felt a chill coming over. But the crowd moved away. But what Long Fei did not expect was that it was not a ton-level female walking towards him, but a sexy figure, and there was even a trace of enchanting beauty in her eyes. This is the Bawang Hua? Was sparring with such a woman a suffering? This is welfare. "I don't know you, you owe me. I don't know you, you owe me." Bawang Hua. It really was fierce. With every step he took, his body would shake violently, causing the ground to shake as well. Long Fei could feel it from over 10 meters away, and this caused him to think of a single word: violent waves. Every step he took left a deep footprint on the ground. He didn't even know how he walked out. Long Fei looked around and saw many strange footprints. His heart tensed up. Damn, could it be that all of these came from this crazy girl? Boom! The Bawang Hua suddenly stopped, standing 3 meters away from Long Fei. He took a glance at him and said with a dull expression, "You are today's sparring partner?" Long Fei nodded his head. "My name is Long Fei. Senior sister, please advise me." He bowed slightly in a very serious manner. He had to be polite. He had to let this ferocious girl know that Long Fei was a well-mannered gentleman. Long Fei. Suddenly, the space between Bawang Hua's eyebrows tightened. "You're the one who killed the great clan elder?" In between his brows, Long Fei felt a fierce chi. Long Fei lightly nodded and said, "I am in self-defense." Not waiting for him to finish, Bawang Hua suddenly roared out. Last month's new cultivation technique was the roaring dragon subduing tiger fist. He took a step forward. A deep footprint appeared on the ground. The ground started to crack. Just like an earthquake wave was heading towards Long Fei, its speed was extremely ferocious, so fast that it made people's hair stand on end. At the same time, a stream of pure physical energy rushed towards him. At this moment, the surrounding people immediately gathered together. It's open. How many punches can this kid endure from Bawang Hua? 1 punch for 1, 2 punches for 1 for 5, 3 punches for 1 for 10. If it's counter-killing, then it's 100 with me. He's a lunatic. How could someone like him kill someone else? He will definitely be killed instantly by the Bawang Hua. I bet 2 divine pellets on 1 punch. I want to punch 2. I only threw a punch. The audience started to bet immediately. But these people who were betting on Long Fei were surprisingly unified, betting on Long Fei's strength to be destroyed in 1 punch, because they knew very well the power of Bawang Hua. Moreover, the Bawang Hua was currently in a state of anger, and its power was becoming more ferocious. Under this situation, how could Long Fei defend against it? Holy sh*t. Can't you trust a new person? No matter what, he is still a famous person. No matter what, he killed the great elder. Are you all that suspicious of him? The disciple who opened the stage was called LV Xuanchuan. The martial arts training was normal, but in God Rare's sect, he was like a fish in water. There were all sorts of rumors. He did not think that opening a meeting would result in such a result. From his point of view, Long Fei couldn't even withstand a single punch. With just Long Fei's physique. One punch. Big loss, big loss. We're going to lose out this time. Brat, you have to earn some strength. At least 2 punches to the ground would be good. LV Xuanchuan clasped his hands together as though he was worshipping Buddha. He did not dare open his eyes. In the blink of an eye, roar, the tiger roared. Boom, the dragon roar exploded. Both fists moved at the same time, one fist against the tiger, one fist against the dragon's roar. Both fists pulled the bow and directly struck Long Fei's chest, with an extremely ferocious momentum and an unstoppable momentum. Holy sh*t. Now I finally understand why you're called Balonghua. You're practically an overlord. I don't even know what your relationship with the word flower is. Long Fei's palms were drenched in cold sweat, his right fist moving. He was not a man to be killed. Since someone was going to attack him, he naturally had to fight them head on. Don't be terrified. It's just going to get your revenge. At this moment, unknowingly, Li Yuanqing's duck voice suddenly sounded out, and he said lightly, Long Fei, you're just here to spar. Do you know what sparring means? Even if you were to be trained by the senior brother, you are not allowed to backhand. Understand? If you dare to retaliate, I will remove your identity as a nominal disciple. I can't fight back. They're just live targets. Moreover, how could a nominal disciple be a match for these room of martial arts training-s? The consequences of retaliating would be even greater. S brows tightened. Now that Xia Qiyuan had already been implicated and no one would protect him anymore, if he could not even protect his identity as a nominal disciple, how could he be worthy of everything Xia Qiyuan had done for him? How could he find a way to hide in the God Rare sect and leave the Devil Island? How can I find out more about my mother? Endure. Long Fei crossed his hands. He lowered his body slightly, clenched his teeth, and shouted out in a deep voice, Come. Boom. The punch landed. Bang. When it hit the back of Long Fei's arm, bone-cracking sounds came out as though it was going to break. Long Fei's body was also blown away. Bam. He hit the ground heavily. His internal organs were tumbling about, and all the meridians in his body felt as if they were breaking inch by inch. His hands, in particular, had gone completely numb, and he had lost consciousness. The power of this punch. Too powerful. Moreover, Balonghua's cultivation was much higher than Long Fei's, but he did not use his realm's superiority to crush her, otherwise his power would have been even stronger. One punch kill. Instant kill. Ha-ha! Lose money. Lose money. Hurry up and lose money. A large group surrounded LV Xuanchuan, causing his face to turn extremely ugly. He muttered to himself, I'm bankrupt. I'm bankrupt. The Balonghua looked at the distant Long Fei who was lying on the ground and said softly, This punch is for the great clan elder who brought me here to take revenge. It could also be considered a favor to know what was happening. If it wasn't for Great Elder, she would still be in that mountain cave. Even though the great clan elder had brought her to the God Rare sect, and her family had exhausted all of their assets. You don't owe me anything, the Balonghua said lightly. After saying that, she also turned around and was about to leave. At this moment, everyone thought that when Long Fei was knocked unconscious by Balonghua, he would suddenly crawl back up from the ground and lightly said, I don't owe you, but you owe me. Unless you can let me grab you by the chest. Otherwise, I will not let you go so easily. He stood up as he spoke. Long Fei's expression was a little sinister. This was the first time he was knocked down by a woman. If he didn't get back this round, would he still be considered a man? Just at this moment, LV Xuanchuan suddenly stopped his payments and laughed out loud. I won, a good boy. I can't wait to kiss you. No one wanted to beat Long Fei up, but he suddenly stood up. The Balonghua also did not expect this. turning around to look at the Long Fei in the distance. She heard the filthy words he said and became angry. "Don't you want to live?" Long Fei grinned. "Let me touch your chest, otherwise I won't stop today. Just touch it. I just want to feel that sensation." Without waiting for Long Fei to finish speaking, the Balong Hua attacked once again. Long Fei's gaze darkened. "This time, I definitely won't let you get blown away," he... Chapter 1774. The Most Coquettish Position. Chapter 1774. The most coquettish position being sent flying by a woman was very embarrassing. Long Fei's gaze was fixated on the Balong Hua's every movement. He did not miss even the slightest detail. According to the game's description, Balong Hua should be one of those violent warrior. This kind of warrior is very powerful, but it has a fatal weakness. That is, only close-range attacks can reach the opponent. If we don't let her get close, she'll be crippled. Long Fei quickly analyzed it in his mind. Any opponent had their own weakness, and Balong Hua was no exception. However, Balong Hua should be at the Green Star realm, but Long Fei completely could not understand her speed, so it was impossible for her to rely on her speed to avoid her attacks. If her speed was too low, then what could he do to not let her get close? At this moment, LV Xuanquan said loudly once again, it's a reopening, we can't afford to lose it, and we have to bet everything we can, the odds are still the same, fast and fast, we can't afford to lose it." A wave of incitement. Immediately, many disciples once again took out their secret stash of money. "Mother Faster's I'm going all out. I bet 10 divine spirit pills on this one punch." Balong Hua is already angry, but this time she will not be merciful. "I also bet 10 crystals on one punch." "Me too. I can't do it." "You can still climb up." "Me too." In the hearts of gamblers, they would always want to turn things around. As forehead couldn't help but let out a thin layer of sweat. Almost everyone was betting their fists once again. As LV Xuanquan looked at Long Fei's calm and composed expression, he broke out in a cold sweat. "Brat, you have to endure it, ah. Don't say that you can't hold on. Then I will lose so much that I won't even be able to wear my pants anymore." He was very worried. After all, due to her anger, she was especially fierce, and among the outer sect disciples, there were very few who could stop her. A rookie? Or could an injured rookie withstand it? Everyone in the martial arts arena was looking at Long Fei. Half of the surrounding city's fists were staring at him. When Balong Hua attacked, his fists released gusts of wind, which exploded in the air. The dragon roared and the tiger roared. Compared to the punch just now, the power of this punch was more ferocious and surging. This boxing style was purely based on power. The stronger the power, the stronger the strength of the punch. Boom! A punch flew out. Bang, bang, bang. A series of sonic booms rang out. This was the sound of the air being shattered, and from the powerful friction, one could clearly see how powerful it was. "He's here." This is the sharpest punch of the roaring dragon, subduing Tiger Fist. I never thought that she would be able to reach such a level in the short span of a month. She truly is a genius in the strength system. There's no hope for that kid anymore. Balong Hua is getting serious. How many people in the outer sect of the entire room of martial arts training are her opponents? Furthermore, he is still a disciple in name, and I heard that his inherent skill and cultivation have all been crippled, making him just a trash. Quite a few elders began to whisper amongst themselves. They all thought that Long Fei wouldn't make it, that he wouldn't. Huff, huff. Long Fei tried his best to calm his breathing. Watching Balong Hua's fist descend, he slightly closed his eyes, tranquil heart. His actions shocked everyone. What is he doing? He closed his eyes? Is he admitting defeat? No, he probably wants to kill himself. Haha, I'm going to win this time. His reaction is also right. How could he possibly be a match for Balong Hua, sending him back home with a punch? LV Xuanquan's face was pale, seeing how Long Fei did not even bother to defend himself. His heart felt like it was about to break. It's over, it's over, it's over, it's all over, I'm going to go bankrupt. Balong Hua was also stunned. However, she didn't think that Long Fei was admitting defeat and courting death, but instead, she thought that Long Fei was looking down on her. When the power in his fist exploded, it violently struck down. Ah, Balong Hua roared. She was a standard strong man, a fierce man at that. Boom! The fist descended. Long Fei felt a gust of wind pouncing towards him. His body slipped lightly, and his entire body became like a piece of paper. With a twist, he moved slightly, without any feeling of being able to move at all. One slide, one twist, one movement. 3 movements. It seemed to be very slow. He had no strength at all, and his movements were rather rough, as if he had never cultivated in the first place. But the most important thing was his body cleverly dodged Balong Hua's punch. His punch was empty. The sudden turn of events caused even the Balong Hua himself to be stunned. He stood in his original position for a moment, looking at Long Fei without moving his eyeballs. At this time, the entire hall was silent. A pin drop could be heard. That split second just now was too fast. It was so fast that none of them were able to react in time. However, Long Fei's 3 movements were incomparably slow, so slow that they could all see it very clearly. How could such a slow movement dodge the Balong Hua's attack? Why? Why is that? His brain was twisting. Everyone wanted to know the answer as they stared at Long Fei. LV Xuanquan reacted the fastest. I have one. Kid, I love you so much. I'll love you my entire life. He smiled brilliantly. Everyone slowly came to their senses. Balong Hua took a step forward, his eyes blazing as he looked at Long Fei and asked, "How did you do that?" It was very hot, wishing very much. The longing in her eyes was intense. She knew her weakness. Her attacks could only come in close range. This was her advantage and also her weakness. Long Fei smiled slightly and said, "Let me touch your chest. Let me try that feeling. I will tell you." The Balong Hua was slightly angered and said, "You still dare to speak dirty words? The punch you just dodged was only a punch, and it was just a coincidence. Now, I want to see just how many of your punches you can dodge." In that instant, the Balong Hua retreated. His fists sank. Buzz, buzz. The sound of a door opening could be heard from the left and right sides of the gate. 2 waves of energy could be seen with the naked eye, and Long Fei was inwardly shocked. It really is the violent warrior. However, Long Fei smirked and said, "No matter how strong your strength is, it's useless against me because your fatal weakness is that your power must hit in order to cause harm. In my position, you don't understand it at all. Let me touch it. I will show you how to improve it." Balong Hua glared. "You're courting death." Fury. Balong Hua was completely enraged. He released all his power, and the shadow of his fist shot out like a torrential storm. A torrential rain of attacks. No matter how hard you try to dodge it, you wouldn't be able to dodge such a high-density punch. She didn't believe that Long Fei could still hide. Chapter 1775 Senior Sister, Don't Go. Chapter 1775 Senior Sister, Don't Go. Balong Hua did not believe it. The people around didn't believe it either. LV Xuanquan also did not believe it. It was the first time he saw the Balong Hua so angry that he even opened the door to her cultivation, causing him to forget to open it. Everyone in the audience was flabbergasted as they looked at Long Fei. Long Fei's body was like a thin piece of paper. He didn't put in any effort at all. It kept twisting. He didn't even get a single punch. This movement, too coquettish. This was not a cultivation technique. He played this game for many years in his past life, so he knew that every game had its moves. If you were in a good position, it could help you avoid all powerful skills. Adding on the experiences of the 2 planes, his subconscious had cultivated it to the point where it was as pure as fire. He could completely control the power this berserk warrior released. His body was constantly changing. Powerful fists kept flying in front of him, but they just couldn't hit him. Moreover, Long Fei even laughed very lowly. I can't hit, I just can't hit." He was as cheap as he could be. "Senior sister, your chest is so big. Let me touch it, and it won't shrink down. Let me touch it. Just for a moment." Balong Hua's face became ugly. She gnashed her teeth. She could not wait to smash Long Fei into meat paste. In this outer sect, no one dared to speak to her in such a manner. A nominal disciple had teased him in front of so many people. This rage, it was getting more and more exuberant. However, so what if it was vigorous? Her fist could not even touch the corner of Long Fei's clothes. After a few minutes, Balong Hua had the urge to cry. Last year, during the God-Rare Sect's War of Supremacy, she was like this. Her fist could not hit her opponent, and she was defeated by him because of his exhaustion. For the entire year, she had worked hard at cultivating and changing, constantly breaking through the limits, unleashing her strength to the extreme, and defeating last year's opponent. She thought she could go to 10 sects exchange this year. However, right now, a disciple in name had seen through her weak point that was concealed extremely well. Zhang Xian felt unconvinced. However, she had to accept it. This was her weakness. This year's 10 sects exchange did not belong to her again. This year's efforts have been in vain. I want to cry. I feel terrible. Boom! With the last punch blasted out, Balong Hua retracted his fists, fiercely glanced at Long Fei, and turned to leave with unwillingness and grievance in his eyes. It suddenly turned into the appearance of a pitiful and delicate little woman, which made people's heart ache for her. Why aren't you fighting? Senior sister, let's continue. You haven't let me touch your chest yet. Long Fei shouted a few times, but Balong Hua completely ignored him. If she stayed behind, she would only be mocked and teased by Long Fei. He couldn't even beat a nominal disciple like her. To her, this blow was even more painful than last year's loss in the struggle for hegemony. Even her efforts had been wasted. Hey, senior sister, don't go. That's boring, right? I haven't touched your chest yet. Long Fei grinned. He did not see the Balong Hua looking wronged. If he did, he would definitely want to touch it even more. What a hooligan. Ooh. Long Fei clapped his hands and glanced at the nearby Li Yuanqing. Li Yuanqing was also looking at him. However, there was something wrong with those eyes. There was a trace of charm in them, the kind that he did not want. Long Fei felt the urge to puke. At this moment, how dare a nominal disciple act so arrogantly? To tease senior sister in public. Brat, do you think that the disciples of our room of martial arts training are dead? Suddenly, for people walked out of the crowd. The leader was a young man. He had a handsome appearance and was clad in white. In his hand was a fan. He had an elegant and unrestrained appearance. He walked up slowly. Many people were shocked. Senior brother Guoling. Senior brother has always been chasing after Balong Hua. When he saw that Balong Hua was wronged, he immediately stepped forward. What a man, this is the real one. Senior brother Guoling is so handsome. Many people whispered in discussion, especially the female disciples. They all started screaming. Balong Hua also stopped and said slightly, Senior brother Gua, this is none of your business. What do you mean you don't care about my business? In the entire room of martial arts training, who doesn't know that I am chasing you? If I let you suffer, I won't tolerate it. A mere nominal disciple is so arrogant, actually climbing onto our room of martial arts training's head to piss and shit, and you're still room of martial arts training's disciples. All of you are just trash. Kid, either you kneel down and apologize to senior sister today, or let me cripple one of your hands. Otherwise, you will suffer even worse. Guoling said as he looked at Long Fei with contempt. He was not a Balong Hua. The cultivation technique that he was cultivating, even if Long Fei were to return to his original position, he would still not be able to dodge it. Balong Hua frowned and said, Senior brother Gua, I'll say it again. This is none of your business. I don't need him to apologize. She did not like Guoling. He didn't like it from the first glance. With her straightforward personality, if she didn't like him, then she didn't like him. No matter what Guoling did, she still didn't like it. Long Fei saw through this point with a glance and laughed. Senior brother doesn't like you at all. Can't you see that? You're courting death. One of the lackeys beside Guoling shouted. Guoling's eyes darkened. This was the pain in his heart, but even if he could not catch up to Balong Hua, he would not let anyone get their hands on him. Long Fei's words were undoubtedly humiliating him. Immediately, Guoling became furious and stepped forward. He would not be like the Bawang Hua, with his green star realm pressure pressing down with all his might. Boom, boom, boom. Can you walk? Let's see how you will move after being crushed by my aura. Humph. Trash. Guoling rushed forward with his strength. Long Fei's forehead was locked tight. Right now, he didn't have any other cultivation methods other than the blasting fist. If he continued to kill, he was afraid that he would not be able to stay in God Rare's sect. Moreover, blasting fist was the most life-saving skill, unless there was no other choice. If I use it, I won't be able to use it for 24 hours. A voice resounded in his mind. Do you want me to make a move? Long Fei shook his head and said, no need. Desperate Man was also an unfathomable trump card. I have to learn how to carry it by myself. Long Fei's brows were locked tightly together, staring at Guoling's attack. His body slightly sank, and he withstood it with all his might. Boom! Yi Zichen immediately left. Unable to hold back the rage in his chest, he spat out a mouthful of blood. Guoling sneered. He's not dead yet. Let's see how many punches you can take from me. Guoling was as fast as the wind. He attacked once again. At this moment, Bawang Hua moved. At the same time, a line of system beep sounded out in Long Fei's mind. Ding! Chapter 1776, Fusion Success, Thunder Pulse. Chapter 1776, Fusion Success, Thunder Pulse. With one move, Long Fei was not in a good mood. Guoling was unforgiving and attacked again. Moreover, his strength was extremely strong, and he was going to cripple Long Fei. At this moment, the system suddenly sounded out. Ding! System prompt. Fusion successful. Ding! System notification. Congratulations to the player for creating the new skill, Thunder Pulse. Do you wish to cultivate it? Thunder Shock. The fusion of Thunderclap and Tremor Fruit? Cultivate. Long Fei did not hesitate. He needed powerful techniques right now. The Seism fruit was very strong. It was the demon fruit with a white beard. Rachel was a Kakaxi move. When the two combined, it took 2 days to fuse together. In such a long period of time, the fuse cultivation method was not weak at all. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 100 experience, 100 god power, and 100 metamorphic energy value. Abnormal value directly increased to full. Long Fei didn't have time to carefully analyze Lei Zhen's power. Seeing Guoling rush towards him, his forehead turned sinister as he shouted, Damn it! You think I'm afraid of you? He rushed forward. In the distance, an elder of the room of martial arts training coldly looked at Li Yuanqing and said, Manager Li, is this how you teach your disciple? A mere live target for a nominal disciple to actually want to take action? His voice was filled with a threatening tone. Li Yuanqing immediately bent his body and said, I'm sorry, I didn't teach him well. I'll teach him properly right now. And then, Li Yuanqing bellowed, Long Fei, if you dare backhand, then your identity as a nominal disciple will be immediately removed. Get the hell out of God Rare's sect. Her voice carried a heavy pressure that directly spread to Long Fei's mind. Long Fei's footsteps paused. His fists clenched tightly. He couldn't leave the God Rare sect, but endure was not his style. Cluck, cluck, cluck. With his teeth grinding loudly, he sunk his body down and used all of his strength to defend, staring straight at Guoling. At the same time, the fist was covered with lightning, producing a light crackling sound that only Long Fei could hear. Guoling started laughing loudly. Ha ha, brat, your hands are just a live target, and you're just trash that will train for us. Do you understand? Ha! While laughing complacently, Guoling chopped down with his palm. This palm was extremely ferocious, and Long Fei might not even be able to withstand it. But the only thing he could do was to carry it. At this moment, in front of a body, Long Fei was stunned. Senior's sister? The Bawang Hua blocked in front of him, and the power door on his right arm fiercely swung open. He clenched his right fist. He directly threw it up. Rumble. The impact of his strength caused a loud explosion. Guoling was forced to continuously retreat. His arms went numb. His joints became dislocated, and his face turned pale. What made him unhappy was not the sharp pain in his arms, but the actions of the Bawanghua. Junior sister, you actually stood up for him? Are you out of your mind? After being enraged, he roared angrily and regretted it immediately after finishing his sentence. He changed his tone immediately. Junior sister, how could you stand up for him? He was teasing you just now. In terms of strength, he was not a match for the Bawanghua. He also didn't think that the Bawanghua would suddenly attack and stop him. Bawanghua slightly said, he's my live target today. Other than me, no one else is allowed to touch him. Many people looked at Bawanghua in surprise. He was clearly being harassed by Long Fei just now. And he actually stood up for him? Long Fei was also a little confused, but he still said very politely, thank you, senior sister. Just now, he wanted to release the thunder tremor. While clenching his fists tightly, many thin bolts of lightning appeared between the gaps of his fists. These lightning bolts were densely packed in the air, like glass cracks. At the same time, the strong shock wave exploded outwards with Long Fei's fist as the center. If the Bawanghua can't stop it, Long Fei would not sit still and wait for death. Endure was not his style. His personality was unyielding and unyielding. Just now, your ass was bleeding. Bawanghua did not say anything, nor did he look at Long Fei, and only said slightly, I'm going to cultivate another type of fist technique. There are too many people here. Come out with me. Huh? Long Fei was startled. Bawanghua shouted, didn't you hear it? I want you to come out with me. Don't let me say it a third time. Long Fei nodded and said, oh. And then Bawanghua walked out with large strides. But it was a little different from before. Her steps were not that heavy, and there were no footprints under her feet. Long Fei looked at her back and was slightly shocked in his heart. Injured. The collision just now had forcefully struck out of Bawanghua's body. Furthermore, she did not retreat, nor did she lose her strength. Guoling stared straight at Long Fei and said solemnly, Kid, tomorrow, I will definitely blast you to the ground. Damn it, slut. Guoling huffed and puffed, being robbed by a nominal disciple in front of so many people. This was such a great shame and humiliation. How was he going to deal with this in the future? Guoling immediately walked to Li Yuanqing's side and shouted, You need him to spar with me tomorrow. Do you hear me? Li Yuanqing did not dare offend him, and immediately said, Yes, yes. But Guoling couldn't wait until tomorrow. The anger in his heart had to be vented. LV Xuanquan looked at Long Fei and said, How cool. Being protected by the senior sister on the first day. How awesome. Kid, you are my idol. Haha. It's you who made me earn so much today. LV Xuanquan smiled like a flower. She was extremely happy, and then she also followed him out of the training grounds. He didn't want to cultivate. It was also at this time. A few disciples silently followed behind him. Bawanghua and Long Fei walked out of the training grounds. He walked all the way into the forest. Bawanghua said, Is there anyone following them? Long Fei turned around to take a look and said, No. Bawanghua slightly said, You can leave now. I don't need you to practice with me this year. Long Fei looked at Bawanghua and asked, Senior sister, are you all right? I told you to go. Didn't you hear me? Bawanghua bellowed, and suddenly he was furious. Moreover, his face turned red. Long Fei said, I'll go. After which, he left in big strides, but Long Fei did not go far. Instead, he hid behind a big tree. Pucci, seeing that Long Fei had disappeared, she could no longer hold on, and her body sank as she spat out a mouthful of black blood. Her face also turned pale and then became extremely ugly, all the while she was carrying Long Fei, wiping the black blood from the corner of her mouth, and said unwillingly, I never thought that Guoling's cultivation would increase so quickly. Junior sister, there are a lot of things you haven't thought of yet. Not far away, Guoling slowly walked out with an evil smile on his face. Chapter 1777. The Good Things That Can Make Him Sky. Chapter 1777. The Good Things That Can Make Him Sky. I just wanted to see what exactly you were going to do with that trash. I didn't expect. The smile on Guoling's face became more and more evil, and he said, I didn't think that there would actually be an unexpected gain. Ha ha! I really got lucky today. Baolanghua forcefully suppressed the injuries in his body and asked softly, Guoling, what are you planning to do? For what? A man, a woman, a small forest devoid of people. What else can I do? Guoling took a step forward and stared at Baolanghua's chest. Baolanghua took a step back and said, You dare? Why would I not dare? Junior sister, I chased you for 2 years, but what about you? I, Guoling, have never been able to get my hands on a woman. I'll tell you the truth. I am nothing but a desire to conquer you, but you don't know what's good for you. You actually attacked me for a nominal disciple today. You have caused me to lose a lot of face. Humph. Junior sister, my patience is gone too. I will personally destroy the things that I, Guoling, cannot obtain. But now, I can get it again. Guoling slowly walked forward a few steps. Baolanghua also retreated a few steps, looking anxious. She was severely injured, and she didn't have much strength left. Right now, he was not Guoling's match at all. However, Baolanghua was not one to easily accept his fate, and said, Senior brother, if you dare touch me, I will definitely report it to the elders. At that time, I'm afraid you won't be able to stay in Godrare's sect. Your dream will be to enter the inner sect, right? Haha. Junior sister, are you stupid? Do you dare to say the truth? If that was the case, who would not be able to stay in the Godrare sect? I'm afraid it's you, huh? Guoling had already thought of everything. How could a woman easily say such a thing? Baolanghua had an unyielding personality, but she was still a woman. It was impossible for her to say it. Baolanghua's face tightened as his heart burned with anger. His body trembled slightly as he said, Guoling, there's nothing that I don't dare to do. Guoling laughed lewdly. Junior sister, I advise you to enjoy this properly. Don't worry, I will definitely make you feel comfortable. Haha. While they were talking, Guoling moved and suddenly rushed forward. Baolanghua's expression tensed up, and he suddenly shouted, Help! Guoling laughed and said, Call out, call out. This place is so remote. Even if you scream your throat off, no one will hear you, haha. Baolanghua only wanted to find a remote place to heal his injuries. However, who would have thought that? He felt incomparable regret. Baolanghua crazily stood at his side, his back sticking to the tree. And at this time, Guoling suddenly suppressed down that perverted smile and gulped down his saliva. At this moment, he swallowed a small pill and said excitedly, Junior sister, I will make you feel good. Ha ha ha. He swallowed the pill. The medicinal strength quickly spread, and in a few seconds, Guoling's body reacted strongly. His face flushed red as he became extremely excited. Ha ha ha. Bring it on. At this moment, the air was filled with thin streaks of lightning, visible to the naked eye. It was as if space had split apart. What is this? Guoling muttered. Crack, crack, crack. The crackling electric light shone out with sparks. It was extremely intense. He turned his gaze, and not far away, Xuanabai's incomparably light suddenly exploded forth. At the same time, the thin electric light in front of him suddenly exploded, forming an extremely powerful shock wave. His mind and consciousness felt as if the sky and earth were turning upside down, causing him to be unable to stand steadily. Boom! Thunder tremor. Rumble. With that attack, it directly landed on Guoling's body. His body formed a straight line and immediately flew out, smashing apart a few towering trees. The strength was unleashed. The electrical light in the air disappeared, and the Xuanabai's lightning light also disappeared. What Baolanghua did not expect was, looking at Long Fei in front of him, he asked, It's you? Long Fei stared at the fainted Guoling in the distance, and was extremely furious, scolding, I haven't even touched you, and you want to attack me. Who the F***K do you think you are? If there wasn't someone in martial arts arena, I would have knocked you down. How dare you follow me? Long Fei was very angry. At this moment, a few figures appeared outside the small forest. Senior brother, what happened? Such a big commotion. Could something have happened? Let's go take a look. Immediately, Bao Hua thought about Long Fei's current situation. If he was discovered, Long Fei would definitely not be able to escape the punishment, and immediately said, "Let's go." Long Fei was startled. Indeed, if people saw him attacking Guoling, there would indeed be trouble. However, he wasn't willing to accept this. Long Fei stared at Guoling and said, "Grandson, you can consider yourself lucky today," but while they were talking, Long Fei stomped down viciously, causing Long Fei to feel that it was strange. There's obviously no bone, so how could there be a bone fracture? And then Long Fei laughed wickedly again and said, "Since you like the little pills, then I have a few here for you to enjoy as much as you want." Long Fei escaped out of the pitch-black pill and directly threw it into Guoling's mouth. "This can make you feel good about yourself," the Bao Hua urged. Hurry up. It won't be good if someone discovers us." Her voice was very low, as if she was having a clandestine love affair. After that, Long Fei immediately ran towards Bao Hua. Bao Hua grabbed Long Fei's hand and quickly ran out from the other side of the small forest. After Guoling swallowed the pill, thunderclaps sounded out in his stomach, and his reaction speed was faster than even his yang strengthening pill. In 2 seconds, his butt was already cracking, but he was still unconscious and did not know about all of this. This kind of pill was almost fatal. And then there was Long Fei. The two of them ran all the way until they were out of the forest before they stopped. Bao Hua was panting heavily, his chest moving up and down, wave after wave. The key was, she even held Long Fei's hand. This was the first time Long Fei had been dragged by the hands by a girl as he ran. It felt pretty good. The Bao Hua felt that it was strange. Seeing that he was holding Long Fei's hand, he suddenly trembled and let go of his hand. His expression became awkward. Anger was also a bit awkward. He remained in a daze for 2 minutes. Bao Hua regained his composure and asked, "What did you feed him?" Long Fei laughed. "Good stuff. Something that can make him ascend to the heavens." Chapter 1778, Stinking Rogue. Chapter 1778, Stinking Rogue. Long Fei would never take out normal things. If you were to take it out, it would definitely be a good item. Guaranteed something that would make Guoling wish for death. Bao Hua was very curious. What exactly is it? Furthermore, you were too cruel to actually break his leg. She could see very clearly. Moreover, the cracking sound was very clear. Although she said that Long Fei was fierce, in her heart, she wished that she could break his life. He felt very relieved in his heart. Long Fei smiled and said, "If you're not ruthless, you won't be able to stand steadily. People should be more ruthless." "Right. Why didn't you tell me that you were injured? Luckily, I didn't go too far. Otherwise, you would." Long Fei felt a lingering fear. Under that kind of situation, the Bao Hua was definitely done for. How could a girl meet people in the future? Bao Hua was also shocked in his heart and said solemnly, "I never thought Guoling was such a person. Thank you." "What are you thanking me for? How about you let me?" Long Fei looked at both sides of the Bao Hua's chest. He had seen large ones, but he had never seen such a large one. Without waiting for Long Fei to finish speaking, Bao Hua glared at him and instantly killed him. Long Fei could only shut his mouth and laughed when he saw the murderous look in Bao Hua's eyes. "I didn't say anything." Bao Hua said, "That's more like it. Next time, if you dare say that you want to touch something, I will show you." "Right. What's that move of yours called? Its power is so strong. I have never seen such a cultivation technique before. There is a huge vibration and even the air is cracking, yet it also has the power of lightning. It is 2 entirely different attributes, but it is just that I am not proficient enough." Bao Hua was very curious. Thinking about the move that Long Fei used, and thinking about his battle with Long Fei in martial arts arena, his heart shivered, and he asked, "Did you already know this move? Because your chief steward didn't allow you to use it. So, you're only a 9-star god, but your strength has completely surpassed your current level. How did you do it? Why did my fist hit you? Is that really just a footstep?" For a moment, the problem was like a machine gun being fired. She was like that. It was a bit like a Northeast girl. Once they got to know each other, they would talk a lot. Long Fei said, "Do you want to know?" "Let me." The look in Boang Hua's eyes instantly changed. Long Fei immediately said, "Let me think for a moment." Boang Hua slightly said, "That's more like it. If not, I will teach you a lesson." Long Fei said, "Let's first talk about your matter. You're like a berserk warrior. Your explosive strength is very strong, but you have a fatal weakness. You cannot attack remotely. You can only approach them. If there is someone faster than you, or who can attack you remotely, you are dead." "How did I become a berserk warrior? I'm a fighter. Also, what is a ranged attack? Why don't I understand? Are you a person from this world? Are you from another world?" Boang Hua asked doubtfully. Zhang Xian was perplexed, unable to comprehend the situation at all. Long Fei was also instantly angered. He held on his head and thought for a long time, then said, Let's first find something to eat. I'm really hungry." He was powerless to continue. "No way. I won't let you go if you don't explain yourself." Boang Hua put both of his hands on his waist and suddenly shook his chest. It felt like he was toppling mountains and overturning seas. Long Fei really wanted to go up and play. Long Fei rolled his eyes slightly and said, "I don't understand. Let's fight through actual combat. This will be better, and you'll accept it faster." Actual combat. Close combat. A melee fight. Isn't this the same as touching wherever you want? Every part of his body still wants to escape my hands? Oh no, my hand should be the one holding the dragon claw. However, if I could fully comprehend Wei Xiaobao's famous ultimate skill, that would be great. Long Fei's heart began to thump with excitement. His face was full of vulgarity. Boang Hua looked at him. Long Fei asked, "Why are you looking at me like that? If you do not want to comprehend it and master it faster, then you will only have to fight in actual combat. I will teach you how to move, how to fight against someone faster than you, and how to not get kite." "Very serious. Very serious," the Boang Hua said slightly. "Looking at your serious expression, you shouldn't be speaking nonsense." "All right then. Then let's begin." Long Fei immediately said, "Wait first. You are injured and my cultivation is not as good as yours. We do not need to use too much strength. In case we get hurt, I do not care. I'm just afraid that your injuries will worsen." Boang Hua said, "Come, I will suppress my cultivation." And Long Fei secretly rejoiced and thought in his heart, "Why aren't you touching your entire body now?" This time he was elated. "Ha ha ha, I am a genius." And then Long Fei's posture changed, and he said faintly, "I'm starting." Boang Hua was also extremely serious as he said, "Come." Long Fei rushed forward with a serious expression on his face. With a shout, he said, "Look clearly at my position." Boang Hua quickly gazed at the bottom of Long Fei's feet. Success in attracting your attention. Both of Long Fei's hands clawed fiercely, and he roared in his heart. Long Fei's card, Claw the Milk Dragon. Oh. At the same time he grabbed it, two screams rang out. This was not a comfortable moan, but a painful scream. Because at the same time he made his move, Boang Hua was quick to react, and his two fingers suddenly pinched each other, pressing on a Long Fei's arms. That feeling of pain, it was heart-wrenching. It was simply impossible to describe. Anyone who had tried would know that a woman's technique was invincible. Hiss, 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 hiss. Long Fei screamed in pain and had to praise himself, saying, "You reacted quickly, not bad." Again, Long Fei spoke again as he quickly analyzed the situation in his heart. He thought to himself, "Seems like her chest is her absolute forbidden zone, and she has an absolute reaction speed towards that area. Let's move to another area and try it out." And he would never stop until he achieved his goal. Long Fei was just like that. Immediately, Long Fei charged again, saying, "Look at my position." Boang Hua seriously looked at the bottom of Long Fei's feet once again. Although he did not have any skills, Long Fei's movements was very coquettish, with every step making it difficult for people to fathom him, causing them to be even more attracted to him. She was still lost in her own position. Long Fei instantly appeared behind Boang Hua and hugged him fiercely. Delighted, he said in his heart, "Still not succeeding this time? However, oh." Long Fei jumped up at the same place. It was so painful that it felt like his 7 orifices were about to burst out. This feeling, the pain, was excruciating. Very good, very good. Your reaction is fast. Not bad. You have improved. Long Fei praised her with tears in his heart. Bao Hua thought, "Continue pretending. Let's see how long you can continue pretending. You pervert." Chapter 1779, Let Your Chrysanthemum Wash. Chapter 1779, Let Your Chrysanthemum Wash. He looked serious. He was seen through in all seriousness. Next, from time to time, screams could be heard coming from the outer sect of Godrare's sect. The screams were extremely sharp, as if they were unparalleled. The screams did not stop until the afternoon. Long Fei sat on a rock and looked into the distance. His eyes were filled with frustration, as if he no longer had any hope in life. Despair. He had never experienced such a failure. During the entire day, he did not even touch the corner of the Bao Hua's clothes, but he himself. His body was covered with wounds, and there was not a single piece of good meat on his body. Green and purple, it was as if he'd been brutally treated, even worse than slaves. How miserable was this? On the other side, the Bao Hua was smiling like a flower. Seeing Long Fei's expression, she smiled beautifully, pretended to be flirtatious, and said, "Junior brother, teach me again. I really want to teach me something. Just teach me again." Long Fei wanted to cry, and said, "This will do for today. Go back and properly comprehend it. Next time, oh, I won't be free next time. There won't be a next time. Never again." Long Fei was about to have a trauma over his big chest. Bao Hua walked over and sat beside Long Fei while holding back his laughter and asked, "Junior brother, are you really not going to teach me anymore? You've already graduated. There's no need to teach." Long Fei said. He had to say it. Bao Hua's learning speed was very fast, and she was also in a flirtatious position. In martial arts arena, she could not hit Long Fei, but now it was almost impossible to dodge. He didn't know if it was due to the anti-wolves effect. The Bao Hua himself could feel this point. Even though he had seen through Long Fei's thoughts, he did not dare to thank Long Fei in his heart. Moreover, she had been laughing the whole day while training with Long Fei. In a comfortable mood, people learn much faster. Bao Hua suddenly quieted down, turning her face to look at Long Fei's face. The blade was ordinary, a bit handsome. Under the afterglow of the setting sun, it gave people a feeling of haziness. All of a sudden, she said in a strange tone, "If you want to touch my chest, then chase after me." After saying that, her face turned red. His heart trembled, and he thought to himself, "Bao Hua, oh Bao Hua, how can you say such words? Are you in heat or lust? Are you crazy?" He couldn't help it. She was completely unable to control herself, as she was attracted by the unique aura on Long Fei's body. Looking at Long Fei's shoulder, she especially wanted to lean on it to have a good rest. Long Fei's shoulder seemed to be filled with temptation. This was a feeling that she couldn't even put her finger on. Long Fei raised his eyes and was shocked. He turned around and looked at Bao Hua and asked, "Is that okay?" But right at this moment, Bao Hua had already run far away. He nodded and said 2 words, "All right." Then it disappeared. Long Fei laughed. "You've gotten lucky again?" He had to say it. Long Fei's body had an aura that could captivate women. This aura was innate and would cause one to be unable to extricate themselves, causing women to be subconsciously attracted to him. This aura was passed down to his mother. The unique charm of the holy maiden was inherited. Thus, any woman who fell in love with him would be unable to bear falling into it. Long Fei looked in the direction that the Bao Hua had disappeared in and smiled slightly. Crap. Thinking about what Li Yuanqing had said in the morning, he had to rush back to the gathering to report before 6 p.m. Long Fei immediately rushed over to the miscellaneous department. As a nominal disciple, you have to understand the identity of the nominal disciple. Then, you should understand what you're trying to do. If any one of you are going against me, I will make it difficult for you. Li Yuanqing said fiercely. The matter of Long Fei in the martial arts arena today had caused him to be insulted and scolded by the elders of the room of martial arts training S. He was in a very bad mood. At this moment, Long Fei ran in and said, "Sir Manager, my apologies. I practiced with senior sister too late, and I came back late." Li Yuanqing glared and shouted, "I was talking about you just now. You made such a big deal out of me on the first day. Long Fei, I'm warning you. If you make it difficult for me, I'll make you get the hell out of here, understand?" Long Fei smiled apologetically. I understand. Towards this kind of man who didn't have a duck's voice, Long Fei didn't need to bother. Li Yuanqing coldly snorted and said, "That's more like it." Long Fei casually asked and said, "Master Supervisor, my contribution points today." Without waiting for Long Fei to finish, Li Yuanqing asked coldly, "Contribution points? You still want contribution points? Are you dreaming? Because you came back late, so your contribution points were deducted. Contribution points were very useful in God Rare's sect. It was equivalent to a type of currency, which was even more useful than divine spirit pills. A nominal disciple could also earn contribution points, accumulating enough contribution points to be able to exchange for a quota of official disciples. 5 contribution points were not a lot, but it was a number that many nominal disciples could only earn in a month. Was directly swallowed by Li Yuanqing. Long Fei was indeed a little unhappy in his heart. Many of the surrounding disciples were gloating while secretly laughing. A rookie from the first day still wants contribution points? In your dreams? Why don't you take a look at yourself? If you don't have the mission given to you by the general director, do you think you can still earn contribution points? Long Fei clenched his fists tightly and relaxed them slightly, then said, "Master Manager, we're out of contribution points, so we should at least eat, right? It's been a day since I ate." He was really hungry. He was locked up for a day without eating. After training for the entire day, he was exhausted and had not eaten yet. Hungry, Li Yuanqing sneered and said, "You want to eat something? Look for yourself. I'm not your father." Giggle. Long Fei clenched his fist again, and an explosive sound was heard. Li Yuanqing didn't mind at all. He waved his hand and said, "Disband today. We'll continue tomorrow." And then Li Yuanqing left. Long Fei pulled a senior disciple and asked, "Senior brother, where does Master Manager live?" As he spoke, he took out a divine spirit pill. The senior brother said, "You want to bribe the head supervisor? It seems like you're quite sensible, kid. There's a separate courtyard on the east side, and beyond that is the forest." "Thank you, senior brother." Long Fei smiled slightly and thought to himself, "Swallowing my contribution points. Why aren't you giving me food, telling me to not touch you? But can I do it in secret?" Long Fei was extremely vengeful. If it was possible, it was a hatred that did not exist overnight. In the dead of night, it was completely silent. Long Fei came to Li Yuanqing's courtyard with his face covered. He could only hear the miserable cries of a few men coming from the courtyard. It couldn't be called a scream, but it could also be called a comfortable moan. "Holy sh**t, old pervert." Long Fei took out another pitch-black pellet from his bosom. "Have your chrysanthemum take a bath tonight." Chapter 1780, Endless Scholar. Chapter 1780, Endless Scholar. If I can't touch you in the open, then I'll hide in the dark. If I can't come in the dark, then I'll hide in the dark. I refuse to believe that I can't deal with you. This was Long Fei. Hearing Li Yuanqing's room, a wave-like noise sounded, and it was even accompanied by the sound of whips slapping. It was truly coquettish. Long Fei entered the house silently. Looking at the steaming dishes on the table and the bottle of wine, soaked in some kind of animal whip, Long Fei revealed an evil smile. "Deducting my contribution points? Why aren't you eating? Then I'll let you have a taste of Father's power." He placed a medicinal pill into the wine. After that, Long Fei quietly withdrew himself. "Just you wait. As long as you drink, your chrysanthemum will go berserk." Returning to his residence. In the weed hut, Long Fei's stomach was pounding in hunger, just as he was worrying. The sound of light footsteps could be heard. Long Fei tensed up. Who? Desperate man walked out from the weeds. 2 wild rabbits who were killed by the sword chi appeared in his hands. He threw them at Long Fei's feet and said, "Eat this. You have to release more chili." Air. Long Fei looked at Desperate Man and said, "You're hungry too, right?" The Desperate Man did not deny it and said, "A little. Then I'll roast the hare today." Long Fei began to peel off its skin and clean up its internal organs. At this time, the Desperate Man had once again quietly disappeared, giving off a mysterious feeling. Not long later, on the fire rack, the wild hare meat was emitting a burnt fragrance. The fat on the hare was pulsing like dancing fairies. Adding some seasonings to the meat, and the fragrance was even more indescribable. Long Fei picked up a roasted rabbit and said, "There shouldn't be anyone around. You should come out to eat as well." The figure of the Desperate Man appeared out of thin air. Long Fei was slightly shocked. He did not even know how the Desperate Man appeared. Had he always been invisible, or was his speed so fast that he was unable to see it clearly? Desperate Man took the rabbit meat and tore off a piece of meat. It was very hot, but he didn't seem to feel anything. Long Fei said, "Slow down, no one is fighting with you." Desperate Man didn't say anything and just continued to eat. He wanted to finish eating quickly so that he could conceal himself, because only by hiding in the darkness could he protect Long Fei from all angles. In these few days, as long as Long Fei received danger, the consciousness in his mind would control him. This consciousness controlled him, as if Long Fei was the young master. He would absolutely not let anything happen to the young master. Moreover, he had tried before, but this consciousness was unable to expel or defeat him. It was as though a law was imprisoning itself in his mind. How powerful was a person who could unleash such power? Impossibly strong. Long Fei continued to roast the other rabbit, looked at the cold, Desperate Man, and could not help but ask. Last time at the martial arts training grounds, sect leader Zhang Sanqian said that the 9 days and 10 places killing space could only be cultivated by specific people in the God Rare sect. How did you know that? And he's even stronger than the Grandmaster? Long Fei really wanted to know the answer to this question. Even the sect master was only slightly in the second stage of cultivation, but the fact that the Desperate Man was able to release the full meaning of the second stage meant that in terms of cultivation method, he was even more powerful than Zhang Sanqian. Desperate Man paused for a moment, then said, "I don't know." Huh? Long Fei asked with some curiosity. "You don't even know what cultivation technique you have cultivated?" The Desperate Man said, "If you wanted me to use the 9 days and 10 places killing space now, I simply could not release it. After you felt the pain within the killing inner space, the subconscious in my mind immediately released a strong killing intent that was stronger than Fong Tianhan and directly crushed him, allowing him to have a taste of how the killing inner space would be crushed. When Zhang Sanqian wanted to stop me, my subconscious suddenly raised the killing inner space to an even stronger realm. And when everything ended, the cultivation technique also disappeared, as if it did not belong to me." His eyes told Long Fei that he wanted to know the answer even more than Long Fei. What exactly was hidden? Long Fei listened attentively, as he started to analyze in his heart. Whoever gives me pain will have to endure pain worse than me. Whoever is stronger will be the stronger one. Whoever is stronger will be the stronger. Seems like. Long Fei watched as Desperate Man gnawed on the rabbit's meat. "Mother, I really want to meet you. Did you send him to protect me?" Long Fei looked up at the stars in the sky, his heart yearning to see his mother. At the same time, in his heart, he was also thinking about his father in the infernal realm, as well as the 8 King Kong, and also about Jojo and the others who had their souls shackled by the Destiny God. But right now, he didn't even know where the ancient holy battlefield was. Don't even talk about changing the pattern. Even the place he was, it was filled with danger. If he was not careful, he would lose his life. And the most important thing was that he did not know how to leave Devil Island. Suddenly, a cool breeze blew past. Long Fei was startled. He turned to look and realized that the Desperate Man had disappeared. Half a minute later, a girl walked into the courtyard with light steps and looked around in shock. You live in this kind of place? There are a lot of houses in God-Rare's sect. Why would you live in this kind of place? The one who came was no one else but the Bawanghua. She had some food in her hand. She returned to her residence, and for some reason, she kept thinking about Long Fei, wanting to see him again. When she found out that Long Fei had not eaten for an entire day, she was conflicted. Do you want it? In the end, it still came. Bao Wanghua's appearance caused Long Fei to be slightly taken aback, and he asked, "Senior sister, why have you come?" Bao Wanghua looked at the rabbit meat on the fire rack and said, "I was afraid that you would starve to death. I never thought that you would eat better than me. It seems that I was overeating." "Enough. As long as you don't starve to death, I'll go back." As he spoke, he turned around to leave. Long Fei said, "Senior sister, since you have come, why don't you sit for a while? Didn't you tell me to chase you? Such beautiful scenery is the perfect time to deepen our relationship, don't you think?" Bao Wanghua immediately turned and stared at Long Fei, his eyes staring slightly. He asked, "Your arm is itchy again?" Long Fei's body immediately shrank as he said, "What I mean is, do you want to taste the wild hair I'm roasting?" He already had a shadow in his heart about Bao Wanghua's technique. Bao Wanghua smiled and said, "That's more like it." Bao Wanghua did not want to leave from the start. Long Fei thought in his heart, long and long, with no intention to sleep, if I could do something I love to do. Chapter 1781, Drilling the Grove Again. Chapter 1781, Drilling the Grove Again. Nothing happened that night. Long Fei really wanted something to happen, but nothing could happen. Moreover, the Bawanghua was invincible in close combat. If Long Fei did not use the blasting fist, he would not be a match for the Bawanghua at all. The next morning, the General Affairs Department. It's already 9 o'clock, and the head supervisor isn't here yet. What's going on? Exactly. I've never seen one before. It can't be that she's sick, right? Sick? How could he possibly be sick if he was able to solve the problem with just a pill? It should be something else. Li Yuanqing did not appear. Long Fei secretly rejoiced in his heart. Damn it, you tricked Lousy. Now isn't it so great? How was your daddy's 1,000 Li desolation pill? Isn't that great enough? The pellet he had placed in Li Yuanqing's wine was of a very strong attribute. Normally, people would spend 7 days and 7 nights on it, and those with poor stamina would directly die from exhaustion. Even if it was the Powerhouse S, it would still take 3 days and 3 nights. This taste, it felt great. In another place, Li Yuanqing had been squatting in the toilet since the night before and had never left since. Who is it? Who is it? Don't let me find out, or I'll kill him. Li Yuanqing roared. When he was dressed and prepared to leave, his stomach let out a series of growls like lightning. Li Yuanqing's eyes opened wide and immediately squatted down again because he did not take off his pants in time, causing his pants to shit out. He was so angry that his entire body shivered. Big whip wine. Wait, you make me feel bad. I will make you. Crack. Another series of popping sounds. Outside the toilet. Master, what should we do about today's miscellaneous arrangements? You, Li Yuanqing shouted in anger. Can't you see that I can't leave? Pass my order down, and everything will remain the same. Yes, sir. Li Yuanqing seemed to have thought of something and immediately said, Oh, right. Let's have that brat Long Fei go to room of martial arts training to accompany him. He promised Guoling yesterday. Yes, sir. In another place. Disciples' dorm of the martial arts training. When he woke up from his coma, Guoling's body was covered in feces. Since Guoling was young, he had never suffered such a loss. No. Me? Guoling stepped out of the toilet, then turned around and stepped back. His face was extremely pale. He had no time to take off his pants, and then a few popping sounds rang out. Bullshit. It's no use. It's completely useless. Go and give me the best anti-diarrhea pill. Hurry up. Guoling roared. He couldn't leave the toilet at all. Who knows how many times he had covered his pants with sh*t. It had been several days since he had last washed his body clean, and he could no longer smell the feces on his body. You dog, don't let me find out who sneaked an attack on me. Otherwise, I will make you regret coming to this world. Io, crack. Another series of explosions sounded. He exchanged for several anti-diarrhea pills, but they were completely useless. Long Fei's 1000-li pellet, just like its name, 1000-li 1 and 1000-li 1, did it want to stop the diarrhea? It was impossible, and what alchemist in this world would place their experience on a pill like the healing pill? Guoling screamed miserably, but it was pulled on his pants again. Everything was as usual. Long Fei arrived at the room of martial arts training. At this moment, as the all-knowing scholar of the God Rare sect, LV Shuangquan was surrounded by people. You all don't know, but at that time it was so fast that a burst of power from the lightning directly blew Senior Brother away. At this moment, that powerhouse directly carried Senior Sister, and with one step, he soared into the sky. That scene is beyond your imagination. It's too cool. He's so handsome that he's practically a scum. What do you mean by a hero saves a beauty? That's what a hero saves a beauty would be. The cannon shot continuously rang out. LV Shuangquan's mouth was like a machine gun. LV Shuangquan, how did you know? A disciple asked. LV Shuangquan said, there is nothing that can be hidden from me. What's more, I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. We heard this. Long Fei's heart trembled slightly. LV Shuangquan had a complacent look and said, if you don't believe me, you can ask Senior Sister and see if I'm wrong. Many disciples of Room of Martial Arts Training saw Long Fei walking over. One of the disciples immediately laughed. This nominal disciple left with Senior Sister. The one who saved the beauty couldn't have been him, right? Him. Ha ha. Ha ha. The crowd immediately burst into laughter. Their faces were all filled with disdain. Him, a nominal disciple whose talent has been crippled, would have died a long time ago if it wasn't for Senior Sister who helped him block the palm strike from Guoling. Wouldn't I be a super great god if he was the hero saving the beauty? Exactly. I'm still the savior. LV Shuangquan did not speak, but looked at Long Fei. Long Fei also looked at him. At this time, an elder shouted, you don't even need to cultivate? The rookie selection is in less than 3 months, and you still have time to chat here? Everyone immediately dispersed. The elder glanced at Long Fei and said, that person is a nominal disciple. Long Fei looked at him. That elder immediately said, yes, that's you. Long Fei walked forward and said, elder, my name is Long Fei. I don't care what you fly. Guoling can't come today, but you, the punching bag, can't stay idle. I think that's it. The elder was filled with disdain. Long Fei clearly knew that he couldn't come. Within 3 days and 3 nights, he couldn't leave the toilet. But, be a punching bag? The elder looked at Long Fei and said angrily, what kind of expression do you have? You don't want to? At this moment, Bao Hua walked over and said, Elder Wu, what have I comprehended from yesterday's dragon's roar subduing tiger fist? I wanted to practice with me for another day. When the elder saw that it was Bao Hua, he immediately smiled and said, it's Bao Hua, then go train with it. Bao Hua was a seated participant. Ordinary elders didn't dare to rashly offend him. Bao Hua looked at Long Fei and said, I don't want to practice in such a noisy place. Follow me. After which he walked out. This time it was the more remote woods. LV Shuangquan slightly smiled and thought in his heart, I didn't see it clearly yesterday, is it you? However, to be able to make Bao Hua fall in love, this is great news. As he spoke, he secretly followed. It was also at this time. A few disciples once again silently followed him. They lost him yesterday. He definitely wouldn't do that today. Chapter 1782, She Kissed Me. Chapter 1782, She Kissed Me in the Small Forest. Sunlight shone through the gaps between the leaves. A cool breeze blew past, rustling the leaves. Bao Hua practiced the dragon's roar tiger subduing fist for a bit before he leaned against a tree and stopped. He frowned slightly with a worried look on his face and muttered, There's still 3 months' time, but I can't change it. Is a year's hard work going to be wasted? Long Fei had truly not completely mastered the method of thunder shock, even though he had not mastered it yet. There was electricity in the middle of the shock waves and the fruit of the shock waves, and there was also shock in the middle of the shock waves. Only by combining the strongest lightning bolts with the strongest earthquake would the power of the lightning be strong enough. Seeing that the Bawang Hua had stopped and seeing her worried expression, he smiled slightly and said, "Don't worry, I will think of a way to help you." Bawang Hua looked at Long Fei and laughed. She didn't take it seriously. Long Fei was indeed very strong. In her heart, Long Fei was very mysterious and powerful, but she was very clear on her weakness. Once she encountered an opponent who was faster than her, she would have no chance. Furthermore, if she didn't have an opponent that could close in on her, she wouldn't be able to do anything. This was her fatal weakness. If even the disciples of the God Rare sect could see that, in the 10 sects exchange, how could he be a match for those super geniuses? Huff! 10 sects exchange. Bawang Hua clenched his teeth, his fist shook, and he threw out a punch. Boom! Boom! A dragon was roaring and a tiger was roaring. The fallen leaves beside her were also blown away by the strong wind. Bawang Hua was a little like Yuan Ba. She focused on training her strength. Faith was pure strength, and her physical body was the source of strength. She had trained her physical body in strength since she was young. He didn't train in divine power. A pure warrior, Long Fei had played countless of online games and had a unique insight into how warrior and mage PvP. Right now, he was thinking about how to use this insight to display it. While Long Fei cultivated the Thunder Pulse art, he also thought about how to help the Bawang Hua solve the problem. Continue as usual today. We'll continue today. 3 days of practice. Long Fei was accompanying the Bawang Hua in the small forest. His Thunder Pulse skill had reached 300 points from the proficiency, and his understanding of the Thunder Pulse skill could be considered to have gained a basic understanding. In these 3 days, LV Shuangqiuan had been monitoring them the entire time. He thought he could dig up some explosive news, but there was nothing. It was just 2 people cultivating. The only difference was that they each practiced their own techniques. And then again, he continuously lost the 3 gods General S. Small Tails. Dragon roar, shock. Tiger subduing roar. Boom, boom. When the 2 fists were released, a series of explosions sounded out in the air. Bawang Hua was drenched in sweat as he slightly retracted his fists and lightly gasped for breath. At this moment, Long Fei walked over and said, "Flower, I've thought of a way to help you solve this problem." Bawang Hua's face reddened. In these 3 days of contact, every time Long Fei called her Flower Blossom, she couldn't help but blush. She didn't dare to call out at the beginning, but she was simply unable to stop him. Bawang Hua asked, "What method?" Long Fei said, "You have always been focused on training your strength and body. Your cultivation technique is also a hard martial art, pure power. As for someone who's fast in movement and can't let you near them, you have no way to do anything. As for this situation, I have a temporary solution that can only be found temporarily. I will think of a better solution." Long Fei said. Bawang Hua said, "Go ahead." Although she trusted Long Fei, he was still a martial artist who didn't even have a cultivation at the Yellow Star Realm. This wasn't because she looked down on Long Fei. How could the gods in this world solve the problem of the Green Star Realm? Unless Long Fei was a legendary martial arts master. Long Fei said, "Charge." Bawang Hua was startled and said, "Sudden advance? What do you mean?" Long Fei said, "To let you instantly increase your speed and also rush to the front of your opponent in an instant and combine it with your strongest technique and kill you in one move." Bawang Hua was stunned. Long Fei gave a simple description, and it was as if a window was opened in her mind, allowing her to instantly feel an even wider world. Following that, S words kept on popping up in Bawang Hua's mind. Long Fei continued, "This is only an ultimate attack. Under the situation where the opponent is relaxed, suddenly striking out will result in an unexpected effect. However, after failing in one move, the second time would be difficult. This is also a disadvantage. I will come up with a better solution before your selection." Without waiting for Long Fei to finish, Bao Hua suddenly came to his senses, as if he had just gained some sort of enlightenment. I understand. Thank you. Thank you. Suddenly, Bao Hua took Long Fei in his arms. Before Long Fei could react, he was already in his embrace. Suddenly, like lightning, everything happened too fast. He felt surprisingly good. Moreover, Bao Hua even gave Long Fei a peck on his cheek before instantly jumping away. Junior brother, thank you. Hee. Long Fei was stunned in place. She kissed me. Happiness comes so suddenly. Long Fei looked at the Bao Hua who was jumping far away and smiled faintly. With that sudden insight, Bao Hua became as happy as a child. Long Fei did not know what this meant to her. It was a problem that had troubled her for many years. It was also at this time, in the darkness far away, LV Xuanquan was dumbstruck, and his heart started to boil. I knew it, and just as I expected, Senior's sister was taken down by him. My God, this is heavyweight news. I'll go back immediately. I'm going to print this news into a book. I'm rich, huh? LV Xuanquan quickly left. After he left, the desperate man appeared and reported to Long Fei. Long Fei laughed. I never thought that there would be puppies in this different world, too. Desperate man said, Do you want me to? Long Fei said, Let him be. Ooh, I want to train in Thunder Pulse, too. I want to see what I have comprehended recently. How is it? In a situation where he was unable to level up, Long Fei could only cultivate in order to become stronger. Long Fei asked, Is there anyone around? Desperate man said, There is no one within 1,000 meters radius. All right. Long Fei clenched his fists. Crack. Crack. Streaks of cracks appeared around his fist. These cracks were not ordinary cracks, but rather cracks that brought along lightning. With a fierce charge, the electric light became blinding. The power of the earthquake rushed out from the void and collided with the barrier. Rumble. An incomparably powerful force exploded forth. How preposterous! How preposterous! Long Fei, I will let you die in martial arts arena tomorrow. Guo Ling took out the publication that LV Xuanquan had printed and became extremely angry. 3 days. He was finally finished. His body was weak. However, his anger was even greater. He had chased after a woman for 2 years and kissed someone else. Yet he was still just a lowly, nominal disciple. Long Fei, tomorrow, I will definitely trample you to death in front of the Bao Hua. Just you wait. Chapter 1783, Love, Death. Chapter 1783, Love, Death. In the morning, Long Fei came to the General Affairs Department early to report. Li Yuanqing still had half a life left and was half dead lying in the latrine. He hadn't left the latrine even half a step in the past few days, and it could be said that he had pulled out all the SH*T from his life. Now it wasn't SH*T, but blood. As Long Fei walked into the courtyard, he realized that everyone was looking at him differently. It's here. That kid is here. I wonder what kind of dog's hit luck this kid has to actually be able to obtain the favor of the world. Who knows? Maybe he used some despicable, insidious, and despicable method. Definitely, everyone whispered to each other. Bao Hua was a goddess in many male disciples' hearts, but now that they had taken the initiative to kiss Long Fei, it was hard for many to accept. Long Fei looked at the surrounding disciples and name. He was a little confused. At this moment, a disciple walked up and shouted rudely, Brat, Bao Hua kissed you? What trashy method did you use? Long Fei was first shocked as he thought to himself. It spread so fast. Half of the outer court knew in one night. Long Fei had also instantly rushed onto the God Rare Sex Wind Cloud list, instantly becoming famous. And then, Long Fei smirked and laughed. What kind of despicable method do you think I should use? What control do you have? Humph! Kid, don't be too arrogant, the disciple shouted. At this time, a few registered disciples walked up to him. It was obvious that they were on good terms with each other. Long Fei was not afraid in the slightest, and said, I am arrogant. What can you do? Unconvinced. Come up and bite me. Arrogant. Arrogant. You're courting death. Suddenly, the disciple suddenly took action, his fist fiercely smashing towards Long Fei's face. His legs moved like the wind, quickly rushing over. Long Fei did not retreat, nor did he dodge. Punch against punch. Many of the surrounding disciples mocked. Is he crazy? Senior Brother Liu is at the Yellow Star Realm, and he, a 9-star realm cultivator, wants to compete with Senior Brother Liu? You want to die? Exactly. Senior Brother Liu is the strongest here. Let's just wait and see. That kid's talent has been crippled, yet he dares to be so arrogant. Let's see how he will die today. With his inherent skill crippled, his power, cultivation would slowly decline, and he would not be able to cultivate it back. So after a few days, Long Fei's cultivation should be at the bottom. In other words, he was already a piece of trash now. To deal with the trash, a Yellow Star Realm martial artist could easily crush him. However, the moment their fists collided, Long Fei remained still. A series of bone-cracking sounds resounded in the air. Crack, crack. At the same time, miserable shrieks rang out. Liu Decheng was blown away. His face was pale. One of his hands fell down powerlessly. He could not muster up any strength. He was in a very sorry state. Senior brother. Senior brother. A few disciples surrounded him. Liu Decheng stared at Long Fei and said, "Go up together, kill him." Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Liu Decheng held back the pain and stood up. With fire in his eyes, he said, "Brat, I will kill you today." Long Fei looked at the disciples who were walking towards him and smiled. "I'll give you guys one last chance. In the end, go far away from here. All of you will lie down here." Humph! How arrogant. You alone. The 4 of us won't be able to beat you. Attack. As soon as his voice faded, the 4 of them rushed forward at the same time. Long Fei's eyes slightly narrowed as he clenched his fists. Thin streaks of lightning flashed between his fists, and the surrounding space made sounds like that of glass shattering. Without waiting for them to rush up, Long Fei shouted, "Shock! Crack! Rumble!" Explosions rang out in the air, the powerful tremors directly assaulting their minds. They could not stand steadily and instantly fell to the ground. Long Fei stepped forward and kicked them one by one, landing a kick on their lower jaws. "Don't be so king shameless. If this were outside, you would have already died." Finally, he walked up to Liu Decheng and stared at him like a death god. He said coldly, "Understood." Liu Decheng was scared to the point of peeing. He nodded repeatedly and said, I understand. They were afraid that Long Fei would give him another kick. Long Fei retracted his gaze and returned to a state of tranquility. If people don't offend me, I won't offend them. Someone wants to offend me? This father will K you to death. At this moment, a gay disciple walked up to them and said, "Today, the head supervisor has not recovered from his illness. He should continue as usual and remind everyone not to cause any trouble. Otherwise, it will be a severe punishment." After which, she flicked her finger and left with big strides. Room of martial arts training. Let's go see my flowers and see how her training progress during the night is. Long Fei couldn't help but smile as he thought about Bao Hua's happy expression yesterday. Room of martial arts training, martial arts practice field. When Bao Hua arrived at the training grounds, she couldn't help but point and discuss about it. She didn't know what had happened. When she saw the booklet that LV Shuangquan had printed, her face was filled with anger. She really wanted to get even with LV Shuangquan, but now that he thought about it, this was not something shameful. Moreover, so what if she kissed the person she liked? So what if everyone knew? Thinking of this, Bao Hua revealed a smile like a flower, and she became even more beautiful. A woman in love. This made many disciples of Room of Martial Arts Training want to die. God damn, don't let me meet that brat. I will definitely beat him up and make him crawl all over the ground. Damn it, a mere nominal disciple actually managed to get our goddess this. I'm so angry that I'm about to vomit blood. It seems to be true. What method did that boy use? So infuriating. Suddenly, that kid is here. Many people immediately turned to look at Long Fei. staring at him as if they were trying to devour him. Waves of killing intent attacked him. In one night's time, Long Fei became the public enemy of the outer sect. Long Fei did not mind at all and muttered, "Damn, why do I feel like I can't wait to kill me?" Bao Hua also walked over and directly held Long Fei's hand in front of everyone. This action of his, everyone present was dumbfounded. Long Fei was also surprised as he looked at Bao Hua. Bao Hua pouted her small mouth and said, "What are you looking at? Since it's already exposed, I will boldly admit it. You won't reject me, right? If you dare to not accept me, I will break your lower part." Long Fei pinched both his legs together and immediately said, "I don't dare." However, Long Fei said, "In my hometown, there's a saying, love, die quickly." Without waiting for Long Fei to finish speaking, a furious roar came from the crowd. "Long Fei, I will definitely kill you today. Guoling, you're my man. I have to protect you. You're my man. I have to protect you." The crowd quickly dispersed. Guoling walked out. His eyes were filled with killing intent, but his face was haggard and pale. He looked much thinner than he had 3 days ago. Long Fei was slightly taken aback, but he thought to himself, "Seems like the measurement for each pellet is still not enough. The next time I use it, I need to increase it, and I'll need to keep it for at least 7 days and 7 nights." When Bao Hua saw Guoling block Long Fei's path in an instant, he asked, "Senior brother Guoling, what are you trying to do?" Guoling looked at Bao Hua, gritting his teeth until they creaked. He clenched his fists and shouted, "Bitch!" As soon as he finished, Martial Arts Arena was stunned. Long Fei squinted, walked up, and coldly said, "Say that again." Guoling disdainfully sneered, "Yo, you still know how to protect your own woman? Isn't it just a useless thing like you who only knows how to hide behind a woman? If you have the guts, then fight me like a man today." Right now, Guoling really wanted to knock Long Fei down to the ground and roll around, begging for mercy. Only then would he be relieved of his anger. The entire outer sect knew that he was chasing after the Bao Hua. But now, the entire outer sect was laughing at him for having his woman stolen by a nominal disciple. He couldn't take this lying down. Long Fei said, "If you want to fight, then go ahead. Do you think I'm afraid of you?" Bao Hua immediately stopped Long Fei and said, "I'll fight you." The last time Lin Long had flown under the small tree was due to a sneak attack, and Guoling had not been prepared for it at that time. In this face-to-face battle, Long Fei was definitely not a match. His cultivation was simply too low. Furthermore, with his crippled inherent skill, his cultivation would gradually decline, making him even more unfit to be his opponent. In a battle with Guoling, Long Fei was bound to lose. It did not matter if she lost. The Bao Hua did not care. The more Bao Hua was like this, the angrier Guoling became. Guoling coldly laughed at him. "Look, trash like you only knows how to hide behind women. Are you even a man?" And then Guoling stared at Bao Hua and said, "Junior sister, I really don't understand. How could you take a fancy to such a man? Is he still a man? What was the use of this sort of embroidered pillow? This world is the powerhouse's world. If his talent is crippled, he will forever be a trash, forever unable to climb up from the bottom. Have you thought about this? Junior sister, I am the best person to belong to. Come back to my side. I can forgive you everything you do." As soon as his voice faded, the surroundings went into an uproar. "Wow, senior brother Guoling is so handsome. He's too handsome. If I were Bao Hua, I would definitely return to his side. I'm so drunk." Guoling's words were indeed beautiful. However, the Bao Hua did not hesitate at all and said straightforwardly, "I like it. I am willing, but what can you do about it? And why should I ask you to forgive me? Who are you? Do I know you well?" Pucci. Guoling's body trembled slightly. Super critical hit, instant kill. All that he said, the Bao Hua ignored him. Guoling was immediately injured internally. The crowd went into an uproar. Senior sister is too heartless. Just what kind of bewitching soup did that brat pour for the world to make her lose her rationality so much? What happened to him? Kid, if you have the guts, then come forward. Many people roared in anger. They were all extremely dissatisfied with Long Fei. At this time, Bao Wang Hua took Long Fei's arm, and with a gentle and blissful expression, he muttered, "I'll be by your side forever. I only like you, unless you don't want me." Pucci, Pucci, one heart after another shattered. Again and again. Many people felt as if their hearts had died. They had never seen a violent Bawang Hua be so gentle. This, can't we even compare to a piece of trash? Senior sister, wake up, there is no future following him. He is just a trash whose talent has been crippled. Why are you doing this? Oh God, open your eyes and take a look. I don't believe in love anymore, either. Quite a few people directly laid down on the ground and shouted out. Bawang Hua's actions really blinded them. No matter how they thought about it, they could not understand why Bawang Hua chose Long Fei. Even idiots would not choose to do so. Actually, the Bawang Hua herself wasn't too clear about it, but she liked it. To love a person, there was no need for a reason, much less any reason. From a moment she held Long Fei's hand, she had already made all kinds of plans. Even if Long Fei couldn't cultivate, even if Long Fei became trash, even if he couldn't even be compared to a normal person, she was willing to follow him because she loved Long Fei. It was just that silly. Long Fei looked at Bawang Hua and muttered, "Hua Hua, you're so silly. I'm willing to be stupid to you for the rest of my life." Bawang Hua giggled, her cheeks flushed red, like a little girl who had just spoken out of love for the first time. At this time, Guoling's entire body trembled. Anger burned his head. Smoke rose from his head. He thought that he could save Bawang Hua, but he never thought that Bawang Hua would say something like that in front of so many people. It was equivalent to giving him a ruthless slap. This was truly humiliating. And all of this was because of Long Fei. Guoling said coldly, "Junior sister, he is a nominal disciple. He's just a live target, a punching bag. Today he belongs to me and wants to practice fist arts with me. This is his responsibility. If he dares to escape, then he has violated the laws of the God Rare sect. You'd better think carefully about this outcome." Guoling's voice turned cold. Indeed, Long Fei was only a nominal disciple. His duty today was to practice fist arts with Guoling. If he tries to escape, he's breaking the law. Right now, many people were staring at him, wanting to kick him out of God Rare's sect. If he was caught red-handed, he wouldn't be able to stay in God Rare's sect. It had to be a battle. He could not fight. This was precisely the point where Long Fei died. Guoling laughed coldly. "Brat, I will definitely let you enjoy the taste of my fist." Long Fei didn't have a choice. However, at this moment, Bawang Hua made an extremely surprising move. "Senior brother Guoling, I want to challenge you," Bawang Hua said seriously. Guoling's gaze tightened. "Junior sister, wait until I cripple him, then I will accept your challenge." Without waiting for him to finish speaking, Bawang Hua said once again, "Senior brother, I want to challenge you right now. Let's meet on the life and death arena. If you don't come, then you won't stay at room of martial arts training." Bawang Hua was very determined. Long Fei looked at her, his heart moved, and said slightly, "Hua Hua, you don't need to do this, I can. You are my man, I have to protect you." Bawang Hua smiled slightly and walked towards the life and death arena in large strides. Chapter 1785. Like to fight? I'll fight you. Chapter 1785. Like to fight? I'll fight you. You are my man, my protection. One sentence. Countless young men's hearts were instantly destroyed. Long Fei was touched. Bawang Hua challenged Guoling to battle in order to protect him. Her cultivation was only at the 4-star level, while Guoling was at the 5-star level. His cultivation level was inferior. In terms of cultivation technique, Guoling was stronger. The most important thing was, Guoling was very clear about the death acupuncture point in the Bawang Hua. Going up the life and death arena made her speechless. She knew in her heart that she was courting death, but this was the only way she could think of to save Long Fei. Bawang Hua, so silly. All right, Junior sister, since you want to challenge me, I'll accompany you. Guoling could not hold his anger and said, however, don't worry, I will not hurt you. At the same time, Guoling glanced at Long Fei and said, brat, you won't be able to escape today. After which, he strode towards the life and death arena. Many people surrounded him. At the same time, many people walked to Long Fei's side. Brat, if you accept senior brother Guoling's challenge and make him suffer, what kind of man are you? Kid, if senior sister is harmed in the slightest, I will be the first to not let you go. Kid, what qualifications do you have to receive the senior sister's love? Brat, why don't you go and die? Kid, your talent has been crippled, and a trash like you can never get up on your knees. Senior sister will follow you. Is there a future for you? You don't have to think about it for yourself, but you should think about it for the senior sister. One question after another. Long Fei couldn't answer him even once. However, he had never felt that he was unworthy of anyone because he was Long Fei. He wanted to become the strongest man in the world. Moreover, he had to become one. Long Fei looked at Bawang Hua on the life and death arena. Bawang Hua also looked at him and smiled slightly. The two of you have made up your minds. Once you ascend to the life and death arena, it will be up to the heavens to decide your life and death. The two of you are both important disciples that the room of martial arts training is nurturing. So let's just forget about it, shall we? An old man said. Guoling looked at Bawang Hua and said, Junior sister, I think let it be. Bawang Hua said simply, Senior brother, make your move. Guoling's expression turned sinister as he thought to himself, bitch, you gave me such a shameless thing and slapped my face in front of so many people. Do you think I would let you off so easily? Humph. On the life and death arena, I'll surely let you have a taste of my methods. With just you? Guoling feigned a pained look and said, all right, since you want to fight, then I will accompany you. Who asked you to be my most heartbroken junior sister? Guoling walked up the life and death arena. Boom! A gong sounded. The challenge began. The surrounding people all widened their eyes as they looked at the life and death arena. Long Fei also walked to the stage, and at the same time, he clenched his fists tightly. The blasting fist had already locked onto Guoling's body. How could his woman put her in danger? No matter the cost, he wouldn't do it. If he released the blasting fist, Guoling would definitely die, and he would definitely be kicked out of God-Rare's sect, and even be chased down by the people from God-Rare's sect. It doesn't matter. He couldn't let his woman get hurt. Boom! Boom! Bawang Hua was the first to make a move, controlling a certain speed. Although he wanted to get close to Guoling, he was cleverly avoiding it, and in that instant, the sword Qi struck consecutively, causing Bawang Hua to be surrounded in danger. The sword Qi was strong, but Guoling pretended to be a good person and said, Junior sister, let's not fight anymore, right? I was afraid you'd get hurt. While they were talking, the sword in his hand transformed into a few sharp sword flowers, sealing Bawang Hua's entire body. Junior sister, be careful. Bawang Hua didn't have anywhere to hide, but she was strong. Her physical body was just as strong. A surge of energy formed a thin shield and blocked the attack. Bang, bang, bang. The air shield was defeated, and the Bawang Hua was knocked back consecutively. His blood was boiling under his chest, and he felt a little uncomfortable. Junior sister, does it hurt? Guoling had a kind look on his face again. Under the stage, many of the female disciples were incomparably envious. Senior brother is too good to you. Why do you want to fight? The senior brother loves you so much. Senior sister, forget it. Senior brother doesn't dare to use his full strength. All of them are deceived by Guoling's acting skills. Guoling secretly rejoiced in his heart and secretly said to himself, this daddy will slowly play and will not waste you today. This daddy will change his surname to yours. First it's you bitch, then it's that trash Long Fei. Ha ha! Guoling laughed out loud in his heart and used a few more powerful sword techniques to attack. He was very clear about the Bawang Hua's cultivation and skills. To him, dealing with the Bawang Hua was too easy. As long as he did not let the Bawang Hua get too close to him, he was not afraid. Moreover, even if he allowed the Bawang Hua to get close. A cold smile appeared on the corner of Guo Ling's mouth. He kept on fighting. Bawang Hua could not get close to him and had been suppressed by Guo Ling the entire time. There were a few more wounds on his body, and these wounds were all special places, and they were all buttons on his clothes. The clothes on Bawang Hua's body had already become a little loose. If her clothes were to be torn off, the clothes on her body would slide down. To Warrior, being unable to get close was equivalent to being crippled. Even so, Bawang Hua did not give up. If she gave up on Guo Ling, she would still make a move on him. And she was waiting for the moment Guo Ling let down his guard. "Junior sister, you're injured. Stop hitting me." Guo Ling laughed evilly in his heart. "You made me lose face in room of martial arts training, and I made you lose even more face. Isn't your body the most precious?" Huh. At this moment, Bawang Hua's speed suddenly changed, his body knocking against the wall. Shua. Phantom images. Just like an extremely barbaric method of rushing in. In an instant, Guo Ling was caught off guard, his pupils suddenly shrank, his reaction was slower by half a beat, but he was not afraid. Dragon's roar, subdue tiger. Boom! Like a flash of lightning, Bawang Hua's fists smashed down heavily. After 10 minutes of swimming, for the sake of this move, it was also his strongest move. However, she did not use all of her power in this move, because she did not want to kill Guo Ling. If she used all of her power, Guo Ling's chest would have been shattered from the impact. She only wanted to throw Guo Ling off the stage. No one had seen it clearly. Both fists struck against Guo Ling's chest, causing Bawang Hua to be secretly happy. It's a success. This kind of sudden improvement is too effective. It's simply the moment of annihilation. It was just that. What Bawang Hua did not expect was that Guo Ling stood in place without moving, with a cold smile on his lips. He pretended to be in a difficult situation and said, "Junior sister, you're too ruthless to actually hit with such a heavy blow." At this moment, the clothes on Guo Ling's chest were torn apart, revealing a purplish-gold ray of light, the protective armor. Guo Ling smiled and said in a voice that only the Bawang Hua could hear, "You didn't think, did you? I was on guard against you, you slut." "Ha ha!" It was also at this moment. Guo Ling said softly, "You want to humiliate me? I will strip you of all your clothes and let others see you naked and make you lose even more face." "Ha!" Yi Zichen moved his hands. At this moment, Long Fei ordered. A white shadow flashed, and Bawang Hua uncontrollably retreated back, falling right below the stage. Long Fei steadily caught him as he took off his clothes and wrapped himself around Bawang Hua's body. His own body was covered with many hideous scars. There was even a dragon-shaped mark on his right arm. He himself had never seen this mark before. Long Fei still hadn't discovered it. And then, Long Fei looked at Guo Ling, who was on stage, his eyes emitting killing intent. He said, "I will fight with you." C-1786. C-1786 1 second. Remember, pin. Interesting, pavilion, www. Beak. Come, read for free. Chapter 1786. Explosion, golden dragon violent armor. If not for the fact that the scholar was quick to make a move, the clothes that Bawang Hua was wearing would have. Others might not be able to tell, but who was Long Fei? How could he not see through Guo Ling's sinister and despicable methods? Like to fight? Then I'll fight with you. Bawang Hua firmly grabbed onto the clothes on Long Fei's body. Her clothes could fall off at any time, and she anxiously said, "Don't fight with him. He has protective spiritual armor on him." She did not expect Guo Ling to have a protective spirit armor. If not, she would have definitely won. Long Fei smiled slightly and said, "Idiot, how can I let you suffer grievances?" Furthermore, Long Fei pretended not to know anything on the outside, but he was very clear in his heart that Bawang Hua was feeling wronged in his heart. He had almost stripped naked on the life and death arena. How wronged would it be for a girl to be stripped naked in public? If he did not report this, Long Fei would not be considered a man. Guo Ling laughed coldly. "You want to fight me? Do you even have the qualifications to fight me? You dog, you are just a nominal disciple. and you only have the qualification to be beaten by me, understand? Long Fei's eyes slightly rose and said, "You don't dare?" "Humph, I don't dare. You piece of trash. I was afraid I would beat you to death." Although Long Fei was only a nominal disciple, killing him would at least bring about some small trouble. However, Guoling really wanted to stomp Long Fei under his feet and kill him in front of Bao Hua. Only then would he be able to compare to how much of a trash Long Fei was, as well as how poor Bao Hua's judgment was. This was the only way to emphasize his sense of superiority. Guoling rolled his eyes slightly and said, "Unless you dare to sign the life and death agreement." Before he could finish his words, Long Fei walked to the side of the life and death arena and waved his brush twice. The word Long Fei was written in traditional Chinese with an extremely domineering aura, and it also carried a killing intent. "I've signed it." He signed it first. The life and death contract. Is this kid crazy? What are you doing? With the life and death contract signed, regardless of whether he lives or dies, has he gone mad? The moment Long Fei signed his name, the surroundings went into an uproar. In a life and death arena, if you didn't sign the life and death contract, then you would be restricted. After all, life and death wasn't child's play. Long Fei didn't even think about it. Bao Hua simply did not have time to stop it. Seeing Long Fei sign his name, her heart sank as she stood there in a daze. "Ha ha, ha ha." Guoling laughed loudly and said, "Brat, you're going to die." Long Fei slightly said, "You sign your name too. Otherwise, there will be unnecessary trouble later on." "Don't worry. I will definitely sign my name. Otherwise, there will really be trouble later on." Guoling walked forward, picked up the pen, and signed his name. He once again returned to the life and death arena. An elder looked at the life and death contract and said, "We have signed the life and death contract, and it shall not end until one side dies. Life and death shall be decided by the heavens. Let the battle begin." As soon as he finished, Guoling grinned sinisterly and said, "You dog, this daddy has been waiting for this moment for a long time. Watch carefully. I will trample you under my feet in front of Junior Sister, and I will use my actions to prove how foolish her choice is." Long Fei picked his ears and asked, "Are you done talking?" "I'm done." "Then go to hell." In that instant, Long Fei's fist sunk, boom, boom. Two loud bangs. The two powerful energies in Long Fei's arms shifted, just like how Lu Fei used 3 defenses in the One Piece. His arms turned red, and the dragon-shaped mark on his arms turned ferocious. "Humph! Trash! You still dare to be cocky in front of me? What is the difference between me and you?" Guoling roared out. The sword in his hand became illusory. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk dozens of sword techniques filled the sky, suppressing Long Fei with their might. Competing in strength? Long Fei was truly not as good as Guoling. However, he had a dummy. Without even waiting for Guoling to rush forward, Long Fei's fists moved and instantly smashed outwards. He roared out loudly in his heart, "Hurricane burst boxing, damn it, I won't kill you." Boom, boom. 2 flowing lights flickered atop his fists. It directly hit Guoling's body from left and right. Guoling laughed coldly. "Your inherent skill has been crippled, and you want to harm me with your trash's strength? I have a protective spirit armor." Long Fei grinned. "Retard." Rumble, rumble. Guoling's body suddenly exploded. Half of his body exploded. Half of the wound was gone. Then another explosion followed. The remaining half of his body also exploded. Half his body was gone. When his HP fell, so did his blood. The 2 fists were instantly killed. Furthermore, after the 2 fists were thrown out, Long Fei did not spare Guoling another glance, because he was definitely going to die. Long Fei did not want to waste time talking to him. He just wanted to kill him with a single punch. The entire audience was surprised. Too fast. It was so fast that many people had not finished their preparations yet. In their hearts, they were all thinking about how Guoling would ravage Long Fei like this, and how he would be humiliated, but in any case, the situation was too fast for his brain to accept. What was going on? He was completely stupefied. Even a few elders were stunned. seeing Guo Ling's body explode in two in an instant. They wanted to stop him, but it was too late. Just as everyone was in a daze, the system sounded out. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Guo Ling, for obtaining 25,000 experience, 2,500 holy power value, and 1 metamorphic energy value. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the golden silkworm spirit armor. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining release metamorphic energy value, golden silkworm spirit armor. Long Fei didn't even think about it. He wanted to give something to Flower, but he couldn't possibly give Guo Ling something. Furthermore, the golden silkworm spirit armor was not even comparable to Lin Lingjia. So how could Long Fei take it out? After the metamorphic energy value was channeled into his body, it became completely different. Ding! Implantation of metamorphic energy value. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining golden dragon violent armor. The system beep descended. Long Fei immediately opened up the system and looked at the properties of the gold dragon armor, his eyes flashing with light. Amazing! This thing has defense. It can also unleash powerful force. And most importantly, it has the power of the gold dragon. Awesome! Long Fei was secretly excited in his heart. However, everyone around him was looking at him. The corner of Long Fei's mouth lifted slightly and said with unparalleled dominance, "What are you looking at? Whoever is not happy, I will challenge them again tomorrow, and each day I will challenge them. Long Fei is my man. If anyone dares to snatch from me, I will cripple them." The entire hall was silent. Chapter 1787. On the way to the Hall of the Underworld. Chapter 1787. On the way to the Hall of the Underworld, the two of them were from the Intrepid group. Long Fei walked down the stage, but Long Hua immediately went forward and fiercely kissed Long Fei. The entire audience was in an uproar. The hearts of countless young men shattered once again. However, this time, not many people dared to speak. If Guo Ling was instantly killed, how many outer sect room of martial arts training could be his match? However, Guo Ling's identity was very special. He was a disciple who was focused on nurturing in this year's 10 sects exchange's preparatory disciple. Yet he was killed just like that. Room of martial arts training had to take responsibility. They couldn't afford it. Immediately, several elders stopped Long Fei at the same time and shouted loudly, "You cannot leave." Long Fei did not speak. But Long Hua took the lead and said, "Elder Yu, why can't he leave? You saw just now, he signed a life and death agreement. He did not violate any laws." "I don't care if it's a law or not. Since Guo Ling died in his hands, he can't leave." An elder shouted. Long Fei slightly smiled. "You want to stop me? It's not that we want to stop you, but we can't afford to take on this responsibility. You must give the above an explanation." An elder said, "The explanation is all on that life and death contract. Just take him and report it to the higher-ups." Long Fei said, "If it was outside, with his personality, Guo Ling would have died 10 or 8 times already. The reason he didn't kill him was because he was afraid of provoking unnecessary trouble. After signing the life and death contract, life and death will be decided by the heavens. Even if he went a God-rare sect leader, he could still excuse himself. The life and death agreement is true, but you have to follow us to the inner sect. Guo Ling is a disciple that is being specially groomed. His death will definitely lead to punishment." An elder said. Long Fei laughed. "Why should I explain myself? Didn't you guys see it clearly?" These elders were all cunning foxes and did not want to take on this responsibility. After all, this life and death battle had occurred right under their noses, and they had a responsibility that they could not shirk. They wanted to blame all of it on Long Fei. "Long Fei, we are the elders of the room of martial arts training, and you're just a nominal disciple. Whatever we want you to do, you have to do." An elder lost his patience and shouted. Long Fei said, "Firstly, you are an elder of the room of martial arts training. What does it have to do with me? Secondly, I have to do whatever you want me to do. Am I your father? How dare you?" The two elders shouted at the same time. "Brat, This is the room of martial arts training. You cannot be arrogant. Long Fei laughed. I'm still being arrogant. Why are you biting me? If you have the guts, try biting it and see if you can bite it or not. He wasn't afraid in the slightest. An elder shouted, Where is the law enforcement hall? The space between Boang Hua's eyebrows tightened. Long Fei gently held her hand and lightly said, Don't worry. And then several law enforcement disciples walked out. Long Fei, you have to account for this matter to the higher-ups. You have to go. A law enforcement disciple said. The law enforcement hall was a special hall. If he were to go against them, the consequences would be dire. Long Fei still wanted to stay in Godrare's sect. After all, he had yet to find the answer to many of the questions. Long Fei smiled faintly and said, Since that's the case, then let's go. Ba Wanghua immediately grabbed Long Fei's arm and started to worry. Long Fei took out a space ring and handed it over to the Ba Wanghua, saying, There's something inside that I want to give you. Wear it right after I leave. You'll definitely like it. Finished. Long Fei slightly said, Let's go. The law enforcement hall was courteous to Long Fei, but they did not escort him back. Several elders were whispering something behind the disciples of law enforcement hall. We cannot shirk our responsibility for this matter. If Elder of Inner House finds out that it happened right under our noses, we will. What's even more, we also want to save him, but how can we save him in that sort of situation? He's too fast. Exactly. We don't have time to react. No one can be saved. Now is not the time to talk about this. The problem is if we push all the blame onto that brat. The elder who spoke was holding a life and death contract in his hand. Suddenly, his gaze sharpened as he said faintly, If it's not for this life and death contract. The few elders narrowed their eyes. He is only a nominal disciple. His status is low, and no one will speak up for him. We can call him dark, so what about the law enforcement disciples? Don't worry about that. There's no money that can't be done in this world. In addition, we have the backing of the great elder. The few elders came to an agreement. Moreover, an elder quietly left. The life and death contract that Long Fei and Guoling signed was instantly destroyed, and Long Fei did not know about any of this. After passing through a long flight of stairs, an hour later, the inner court was much more extravagant. The disciples of Law Enforcement Hall rang the bell, and a few disciples came forward to receive the bell. A disciple of the Law Enforcement Hall said to Long Fei, Now, they will bring you to the inner hall. We do not have the qualifications. Come with us. Long Fei followed behind them and walked forward. After walking for more than 10 minutes, he felt that something was wrong. The path was obviously not the main path. Logically speaking, the main path should lead to the inner hall. However, the path was clearly curved. Long Fei could not help but ask, Senior brother, where are we going? One of the disciples turned around and looked at Long Fei, laughed coldly half a sentence, and said, Where are you going? On the way to the King of Hell Palace. What do you mean? Long Fei frowned. Another disciple said with a smile, It means that you are about to die. The four of them laughed at the same time. At this moment, Long Fei clenched his fists. The four disciples immediately felt the energy in Long Fei's body surge, and sneered, Brat, behave yourself in front of us, otherwise this old man will have you meet the King of Hell in advance. Not waiting for him to finish, Long Fei's fists fiercely smashed down. Rumble. A sonic boom sounded out. At the same time, a dazzling electric light flashed as it shot out in an instant. Thunder tremor. Boom, boom, boom. Powerful vibrations and thunderbolts wreaked havoc. The four disciples were caught off guard and were shaken until Zhongli became unsteady. His entire body was covered with thunder and lightning, and the electricity made his body go numb. At this moment, Long Fei quickly jumped away. F***CK, don't let this kid escape. Quick, catch him. Don't worry about anything after you catch him. Kill him first. The four of them recovered and quickly chased after Long Fei. Desperate Man slightly said, Do you need my help? Long Fei shook his head and said, No need for now. I want to know who wants to kill me. We have to figure this out. Thus, Long Fei ran toward the intersect hall. Chapter 1788. All of you must die. Chapter 1788. All of you must die. Someone wanted to kill him? Is it because of outer door great presbyter Ma Fengwei? Was it because of Feng Tianhan? No matter what, Long Fei wanted to understand everything. Because maybe hiding this super boss behind the scenes was Long Fei's goal. However, Long Fei's first thought should not be that of the god-rare sex master, Zhang Sanqian. If he really wanted him to die, there would definitely be no one else in the god-rare sect who would keep him alive. Long Fei wanted to know who it was. He only needed to take a look to know who this person was. The boss cannot be hidden. It was because of the light emitted from his body. Long Fei rushed towards the main hall of the inner sect at full speed. The 4 disciples behind him were frowning. A mere 9-star cultivator dares to act so impudently in front of us. Brad, don't get caught by me. Otherwise, I will make you die an incomparably miserable death. Quickly chase. The main hall is up ahead. The 4 of them were in a hurry. Long Fei muttered in his heart, I have to hurry up and activate the blasting fist level increase. The hurricane burst boxing is too damned. Level 3 blasting fist should be a bit stronger, right? When Long Fei thought about the first level up of the blasting fist, he felt that it had instantly stopped cooling. The current hurricane burst boxing was just a bit away from leveling up. If he were to fuse the thunder pulse, the hurricane burst boxing would also level up. At the same time, it would end its cooldown. No rush, Long Fei thought in his heart. His cultivation method was completely not enough for the blasting fist to devour. Right now, there was only Lei Zhen left. If he ate it again, then there would really be nothing left. Today you made me look so miserable. Don't give me a chance, or else it will be your end. Long Fei felt unwell in his heart. At the same time, he saw the Great Hall. Long Fei immediately shouted, Help! Someone is chasing after me! Before he could finish his words, right in front of the palace, 2 elders stood there. There was a cold smile on his face. Seeing that, Long Fei's heart sank. Damn, is this an intersect or a boss nest? The 2 elders in front of the hall were glowing with a golden light. The name on top of his head was also blood red. This was clearly a boss that would take the initiative to attack. The fact that there were 2 bosses in the first place made Long Fei secretly excited. These 2 bosses did not look like they were the strongest bosses, but rather they were smaller, and there would definitely be a stronger and more powerful super boss behind them. The 4 disciples quickly chased after him. The 2 elders also launched a pincer attack. Long Fei's heart sank. He's tried to force my enlargement stroke. The idea moved. He held onto the thunder pulse art tightly, ready to merge at any time. Boom! A buzzing sound could be heard from not far away. The Grand Master is here. As soon as he finished, the 6 of them were shocked. The 4 disciples looked at the 2 elders' eyes and quickly moved away. The 2 elders did not stop, but shouted loudly. Outer disciples actually dare to trespass into the inner sect. They are courting death. Even though they knew that the Grand Master was about to arrive, they did not stop. It was to kill. Stop! With an explosive sound, a figure stood in front of Long Fei before his voice fell, and the aura on his body fiercely bounced away. A powerful force charged forward. The 2 elders were forcefully knocked away. The afterimages of Zhang Sanqian seemed to be illusions, overlapping at different levels, as though there were tens of thousands of them. This speed and this power made people gasp in shock. The desperate man in the dark was also slightly shocked. Zhang Sanqian said slightly, Elder Qin, what happened to Elder Yu? He forcefully stabilized himself and said, Sect Master, this person barged into the inner sect. When Elder Yu and I saw him, we wanted him to stop, but who would have known that not only would this thief not stop, he even attacked us? Speak. Why did you come to the inner court? Who the hell are you? The 2 elders shouted. Long Fei laughed and said, The older I am, the more formidable my mouth is. I always thought that my eloquence was unrivaled. I never thought that there would be someone stronger. Zhang Sanqian turned around to look at Long Fei and asked, "What are you doing here?" Long Fei looked around and said, "Sect Master, if I told you that I want to take a look at the inner sect, would you believe me?" At this moment, an elder who was leading his 4 disciples from a moment ago ran up and said while pretending to be out of breath, "Kid, let's see where you can run to now. Capture him." The 4 disciples immediately smiled sinisterly and rushed forward. Long Fei's heart trembled. The clan elder replied, reporting to sect leader, "This child killed the outer sect room of martial arts training's important disciple, Guoling, and then escaped. The outer sect law enforcement disciples chased him all the way to the inner sect and were later taken over by us. I never expected that he would actually escape to the main hall." Guoling, didn't he train the disciples that are participating in the 10 sects exchange this year? He was actually killed? How preposterous. Brat, tell me, exactly what sect spy are you? And I heard that you were captured by the people of the Xiaoyao Palace. Then you ran away. With just your strength alone, you can escape from the hands of the Xiaoyao Palace? I think you're someone from a Xiaoyao Palace. All of a sudden, right and wrong was reversed and black and white changed. Moreover, Long Fei was a little confused. He felt that he was just a little naive. This world was too evil. Zhang Sanqian stared at Long Fei and said with a heavy voice, "Long Fei, was it what they said? Sect Master, how could our words be false? Yeah, I saw it with my own eyes. It looks like this kid has come from a bad place. Now that the God Rare sect is in a mess and he killed the outer door presbyter the moment he arrived, this kind of disciple must not be allowed to live." Long Fei looked at Zhang Sanqian. In his heart, he already somewhat understood that this sect master's power wasn't very great. If he was the leader of the God Rare sect, who would dare to talk to him like that? These elders did not place him in their eyes at all. Long Fei shook his head. "Sect leader, do you believe that I am innocent?" Kid, are you unable to justify your crimes? A mere nominal disciple trespassing into the inner court is a capital offense. Why are you wasting your breath on him? Just take him down. Several disciples stepped forward again. The few elders sneered coldly. Long Fei stood in place without moving an inch. Instead, he looked at Zhang Sanqian and said faintly, "Sect Master, I didn't do anything, but if someone were to touch me..." He did not continue. It was not that Long Fei did not want to defend himself, but under such circumstances, his excuse would be useless. However, he was not a lamb, and not anyone could step on him. "Kid, what if I touch you? Do you want a backhand? Then you should consider your own strength. You dog, try to overestimate your capabilities." Long Fei's gaze swept across the entire competition grounds and said softly, "All of you will die." Chapter 1789, Blasting Fist, Level Up. Chapter 1789, Blasting Fist, Level Up. Explanation? Wasting time. The best way to defend himself was through his fists. Long Fei did not want to defend himself, because no matter how he argued, the final result would be the same. Did they still have to kill Long Fei? He said gloomily, "All of you must die." A sinister sneer appeared on the faces of the surrounding elders. "Impudent! You dog, you still dare to boast in front of us. You're courting death." Long Fei smiled slightly. "Are you courting death? You'll know who's courting death soon." Suddenly, Long Fei moved attack. Chua! The white silhouette moved. Those elders were not nervous, but Zhang Sanqian's expression shook slightly as he said, "Long Fei." Crack! An elder's head fell off. Blood spurted out. The system beep rang. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Elder of Inner House for obtaining 100,000 experience, 10,000 holy power value points, and 1 metamorphic energy value point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining. Too fast. The surrounding people could not react in time. Furthermore, they did not even see the desperate man make a move. They only felt a wave of killing intent attack them, and then one person fell. The numerous elders trembled, their expressions changing. "Kid, who exactly are you?" Long Fei laughed in disdain and said, I am your ancestor. Aren't you going to kill me? Come on, come and kill me now. Damn it. Let's see who kills who today. Continue to kill. Desperate man made his move again. Schwa. With a single sword attack, another elder's head was chopped off. He was completely powerless to defend against it. He simply wasn't a match for it. 2 elders had been killed. Those people were a little panicked. They did not expect that there was actually such a strong person behind Long Fei, and that they could not deal with him. Come on, aren't you going to kill me? Mother Kerr, come on. Long Fei roared with incomparable savagery. You want to capture him? Want to kill him? Come if you have the guts. Long Fei never submitted. He thought that there were enough people targeting him in the outer sect, but he didn't expect that the first time he entered the inner sect, he would find even more people targeting him. Moreover, there was still a big boss waiting for him. The 4 disciples quickly retreated, while an elder quickly followed behind. You want to escape? Humph. Did I agree? Long Fei's eyes turned sinister. His killing intent erupted, and he said, Continue to kill. Long Fei. Stop. Zhang Sanqian shouted. At the same time, his figure moved. In that instant, buzz. The sword light was like fire as it shot out in all directions. With a flick of his body, the white figure disappeared into thin air. Zhang Sanqian blocked the desperate man. However, Long Fei's order was everything. After the desperate man entered the void, his strength changed once again. Zhang Sanqian was surprised. How strong is he exactly? Why did it suddenly become so much stronger? Just what is the background of this guy? His heart was in shock, but his speed was not slow. He quickly blocked the attack. Buzz! Another series of sparks flew in all directions, blocking the desperate man. It was very, very fierce. Seeing this, the elder immediately laughed. Little brat, come kill me. Aha. He was extremely pleased with himself. What cultivation did Zhang Sanqian have? Very powerful. If he were to make a move, then he would be fine. Ha ha ha. Brat, you're dead today. You dog, you are lawless. Killing 2 elder of Inner House S in a row, you are dead meat. Even the Emperor cannot protect you now. Just you wait. Ha ha. The elder laughed loudly. A few disciples also revealed sinister smiles. Smile? You like to laugh? I'll let you laugh your ass off. In that instant, Long Fei's heart sank. Blasting fist fuse. Ding. System prompt. Do you want to devour Thunderpulse? Yes, sir. Ding. The Thunderpulse art has been swallowed. Blasting Fist's experience points plus 10,000 points. Ding. Congratulations to the Blasting Fist for leveling up. Its current level is level 3, and its name is Super Hurricane Burst Boxing. Ding. The Blasting Fist has finished cooling. Thunder rumbled. The Blasting Fist was upgraded and had finished cooling. Become a Super Hurricane Burst Boxing. The elder said lightly, Go inform the Great Clan Elder and have him bring someone over. I do not believe that Brat has such capability. You dog, you dare to behave so atrociously in the inner court. Don't you know what kind of place this is? You still want to kill me? With just trash like you? How can you be worthy? He was not afraid of Zhang Sanqian blocking the white figure. But as for Long Fei, he didn't put her in his eyes at all. What was there to be afraid of if she was a 9-star deity? That disciple immediately crossed his arms and said, Disciple will do as you say. As he spoke, he turned around to leave. Zhang Sanqian frowned. He wanted to protect Long Fei, and really wanted to protect Long Fei. However, if the Great Clan Elder came, then even he would not be able to protect Long Fei. Moreover, the desperate man was indeed powerful, but this was the inner sect of the God Rare sect. There were many powerhouses here who were at least 10 people of the same level as him. As long as the desperate man was entangled, Long Fei would definitely die. Just when he didn't know what to choose in his heart, the aura on Long Fei's body suddenly became different. Whoosh, 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 asterisk whoosh, 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 asterisk Long Fei rushed forward like lightning. He bellowed, Did I let you leave? Seeing Long Fei rushing over, the elder laughed disdainfully. Phew. They ran up to their deaths. His figure flashed. You want to meet them head on? Buzz. A strong pressure immediately burst forth, pushing down on him like mountains and seas. But before that, Long Fei had shouted out loud, super blasting fist. All of you must die. Boom, 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 boom. On both of his arms, it was as if he had opened up a shield. 5 flowing lights flashed out. Like 5 falling meteors, they shot out towards the 5 people Long Fei had locked onto. Boom! With a loud noise, one of the disciples' bodies exploded. Boom! Another loud sound, and another disciple's body exploded. Boom, boom! A series of loud bangs. The 4 disciples fell to the ground in response, not even giving them the chance to resist. There were no living people under the blasting fist, only dead ghosts. No one could stop it. The last elder's face paled as he watched the last ray of light charge towards him. His body couldn't help but tremble. Brat, if you dare kill me, the Grand Elder won't let you go, not waiting for him to finish. Boom! The light of the blasting fist fell. His body exploded. Long Fei grinned coldly and said, "You aren't letting me go? I'm not going to let him off. Explode for me." Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Elder of Inner House for obtaining 100,000 experience, 10,000 holy power value points, and 1 metamorphic energy value point. Congratulations, player. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, Yellow Star level 1. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. You have received a special reward. Reward. Chapter 1790, 10 Mushrooms. Chapter 1790, 10 Mushrooms Special Reward. Hearing the words system beep, Long Fei's chrysanthemum immediately tightened up as great anticipation rose in his heart. What could it be? There was a pause for half a second. The system beep sounded again. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining a special reward. The reward is 10 mushrooms of Timo. Long Fei was stunned. Mushrooms? Timo's mushroom from the LOL? Isn't this a bit too ridiculous? Long Fei's mouth was about to become crooked from a smile, and his smile was very cheap, and extremely cheap. Timo was Long Fei's best and favorite hero. Not for anything else, but because of his slyness, his treachery. No one could beat him. A team battle could be lost, and Timo had to die because he was too cheap. A type of mushroom that died by accident. Haha, 10 mushrooms. I'm going to have to play now. Long Fei was secretly excited. Leveling reward really felt good. If only there was a leveling reward at every level. Moreover, if he could get thousands of mushrooms, he could blow Devil Island away. 5 people were killed. Furthermore, they were all instantly killed, causing Desperate Man to disappear. Zhang Sanxian looked at the 5 of them who did not even have corpses left and said to Long Fei, "We have stirred up a great disaster." Long Fei returned to his senses and said, "Secmaster, they were the ones who courted death. I really never thought of killing them. There's no need to say anything else. This is my token. Hurry up and go down the mountain." Zhang Sanxian did not think much about it. The strength Long Fei had displayed was shocking. Instantly killing 5 people. Even someone like him would not be able to do it. Before, he could not understand why Xia Chuyuan would think so highly of him, but now he understood. Long Fei was simply too fierce. However, it was easy to break when one was too hard. Long Fei was still in his infancy, so he had to leave some time for him to grow. Otherwise, with the personality of the great clan elder, he would do everything possible to get rid of him. "I can't die." Long Fei took the order badge and said, "Why do you want me to leave? I didn't do anything wrong, and even if you give me some time, I will still kill him." He really wasn't afraid. As long as he was given a day's cool down, the hurricane burst boxing would instantly kill all 5 of them. What a bird! Zhang Sanqian's brows tightened and said, "Things are not as simple as you think. Wait until you become stronger. You will understand more and more clearly. You only know that one move, and before you can release that one move, you're dead. Do you understand? Long Fei, you still have a long road ahead of you." There are still many trials and tribulations on the road. The only thing you need to do now is to rise to prominence and make the best use of your time to become stronger. Only then can you stand. Long Fei could not afford to die prematurely. Long Fei slightly said, "Sect Master, can I still come back?" Zhang Sanqian said, "When you've finished all your preparations, when you become strong enough, you can return. But you must remember, you must be strong enough to defeat everything before you can come back. The great gates of the God Rare sect are always open to you, because you are a disciple of the God Rare sect." Zhang Sanqian would naturally not let such a person go. Long Fei's inherent skill was too strong. Long Fei's heart slightly relaxed and said, "Okay, wait for 2.5 months. I will rush back before the great battle of disciple selection." And then Long Fei turned and left. Zhang Sanqian was slightly taken aback. 2.5 months? What can you do in 2.5 months? Sigh. As long as I can leave. Zhang Sanqian did not think too much about it. To ordinary warriors, 2.5 months was not enough to do anything. Even if their inherent skills were strong, they would only be able to break through a stage or two. He wanted to have a big change. To surpass the Grand Elder, this was definitely an impossible feat. Zhang Sanqian watched Long Fei disappear into the darkness of the night and looked at the corpses of the two elders and furrowed his brows. At this moment, a white-haired old man and a large group of people quickly looked over. If Long Fei was still here, he would definitely be very excited, because the golden light emitted by the white-haired old man's body was too intense, so strong that it was unable to open his eyes. This was a superboss, an existence that could explode with power. The white-haired old man, Great Elder Luo Wanhong. Luo Wanhong looked at the two bodies on the ground. His gaze suddenly changed as he immediately shouted out, "Sect Master, why would they die here? Who killed him?" Many of the elders' expressions changed. Behind these clan elders, there were a few elders from the room of martial arts training. Zhang Sanqian said slightly, "Great Elder, this should be what I'm asking you about. I really want to know why they want to assassinate me. Seems like they're your disciples?" Luo Wanhong's eyes turned sinister as he said solemnly, "Sect Master, you really know how to joke around. You are the Sect Master of the God Rare sect. Who would dare to kill you? I'm afraid that you. How dare you?" Zhang Sanqian heavily shouted. "Luo Wanhong, do you dare to question what this sect leader has said? You want to rebel?" Angry shouts. This was the first time Zhang Sanqian got angry at Luo Wanhong. Luo Wanhong was unhappy in his heart, but he still said softly, "How could I dare to doubt you? And how could I dare to rebel? Since the sect leader said that they were going to assassinate us, then they should be guilty of 1,000 deaths." A few clan elders looked at Luo Wanhong. Luo Wanhong squinted. Even a fool would know that it was impossible for him to assassinate Zhang Sanqian. Moreover, Zhang Sanqian's killing aura was not that strong. He had directly chopped off the head. This was not his style, but toward someone else, if it was not Zhang Sanqian, then it would be only that nominal disciple called Long Fei. Luo Wanhong did not react and said slightly, "Take their bodies away." Zhang Sanqian coldly snorted and said, "Assassinating the sect master is a grave crime, and their corpses should have turned into corpses for 7 days and 7 nights. Luo Wanhong's gaze tensed up again. Zhang Sanqian slightly said, "What? Great clan elder, do you have any objections?" These two were both Luo Wanhong's trusted disciples. Luo Wanhong also valued him greatly. Now, Luo Wanhong smiled slightly and said, "I have no objections. Since Sect Master has said that a violent corpse will last for 7 days and 7 nights, then I shall let it go for 7 days and 7 nights." Zhang Sanqian's palms were covered in cold sweat. There were very few people who stood by his side in the entire God Rare sect. If it wasn't to buy time for Long Fei, he really didn't want to face Luo Wanhong head-on today. What he had done today was tantamount to declaring war on the Grand Elder. Consequences. Zhang Sanqian understood in his heart that the consequences would be much more severe than he imagined. "I'm going for broke." After half an hour, Luo Wanhong and the others finally dispersed. Zhang Sanqian looked at the foot of the mountain and said softly, Long Fei, I hope you have already left. Go investigate it immediately. You must find that brat Long Fei for me. He must die. Luo Wanhong immediately ordered when he returned to his residence. About 10 minutes later, one of the disciples reporting to Great Clan Elder, Long Fei left the God Rare sect with the sect master token. Damn it. Luo Wanhong's eyes turned sinister as he said, Luo Ming, Luo Yao, the two of you elite disciples go chase after him. You must kill him. Luo Jin, go and check with me immediately. See if he has any special contacts in the God Rare sect. Yes, sir. Chapter 1791. Mushroom Formation, Blast the Sky. Chapter 1791. Mushroom Formation, Blast the Sky. Everyone is tied down. Escape the God Rare sect? Let's see if the person beside you is that lucky. Luo Wanhong laughed sinisterly. He had to do things recklessly. As long as the result was the same, he would not ask about the process. As long as the result was satisfactory. Zhang Sanqian did not hesitate to start a war with someone he wanted to protect. So he must kill that person. He was very clear what kind of person Zhang Sanqian was. To be able to get him to desperately protect her, it could be seen that Long Fei was definitely not a simple person. Long Fei, what exactly are you hiding? Luo Wanhong squinted. Hoo. Long Fei panted heavily. Ever since he left the gates of the God Rare sect, he tried his best to run. He was very clear in his heart that Zhang Sanqian was protecting him. The more Zhang Sanqian protected him, the more power that boss would not let him go. So he had to use all of his power to break out of the God Rare sect's area of influence. Because only by doing this could he keep his life. Before leaving the God Rare sect, he did not even come in time to inform the Buang Hua about his whereabouts, and did not even manage to find out where Mu Bing, Lu Qin, Lei Jiao, and the others were. Looking at the God Rare sect in the distance, Long Fei clenched his fists tightly. I will come back. Suddenly, there was a slight commotion in the distant forest. Desperate Man slightly said, Someone is chasing after us. Long Fei's heart tightened. Such a fast speed. Then let's see how fast you are. The idea moved. Long Fei planted a mushroom and then shouted out, I am here. Desperate Man did not understand. They were even more unable to understand why Long Fei would suddenly plant a mushroom that was half the height of a human. He couldn't understand it all. Long Fei was also shocked by the gigantic mushroom. He never thought that mushrooms could be this big. Is this still called mushroom? This is a super giant mushroom. If I plant this in a LOL game, I'll King blow up the computer screen. Long Fei's heart still had lingering fear. At this moment, 1 or 4 people rushed out of the woods. Looking at Long Fei, who was not far away, one of them immediately shouted, That's Long Fei. Kid, let's see where you can run to. While they were talking, the 4 of them rushed towards Long Fei at the same time. Long Fei stood in place and ridiculed. You fools want to kill this daddy? With your speed, isn't it too slow? Damn trash, scram to the side. Closer and closer. Closer and closer. Moreover, the 4 of them were all the elite disciples of the inner sect. His cultivation wasn't weak. As the pressure of 4 people pressed on him at the same time, Long Fei's body slightly sank. Long Fei cursed in his heart, but he did not retreat. Mushroom formation is really too cool. It's just that there are too few mushrooms. If you gave me 1,000 mushrooms, I would explode to the point where I wouldn't even recognize your mother. Long Fei muttered in his heart. After 3 days and 3 nights of dashing, Long Fei had already reached the depths of the mountain range, a place I didn't even know about. The only advantage he had was that he could clearly feel the auras of the demon beast in his surroundings. All right, it's time to level up. I hope I'll be rewarded with some mushrooms after leveling up. That'll be great. Long Fei said slightly. Desperate Man, I need your help next. Desperate Man said, Go ahead. Anyway, he couldn't leave Long Fei. The idea in his mind wouldn't let him leave. Being idle was also boredom. I might as well exercise for a while. Moreover, he discovered that there were too many unknowns and too many secrets on Long Fei's body. He kept having the feeling that there was an extremely strong connection between him and all of these. Regarding his identity, the control idea in his mind, he wanted to know with all his heart, and the only person who could give him the answer in this world was probably Long Fei. Right now, I need to hunt demon beast. I need to quickly hunt them down. Besides, when I don't say I'm going to help, I just want you to watch. Long Fei said he wanted to rely on his own strength. While he hunted, his strength, speed, and reaction all needed to be improved through this process. Practical experience was very important. Desperate Man nodded, understood. Long Fei said, "All right, now go attract the demon beast for me. I'm going to kill them. I'm going to go on a rampage. 2.5 months. God Rare Sect, Big Boss, I will definitely return. Wait." Chapter 1792, The Sumi Rings That Fake the Sky and Earth. Chapter 1792, The Sumi Rings That Fake the Sky and Earth rank was the foundation of everything. Level increase, increase in strength, increase in speed, increase in defense, and increase in reaction speed. It was the same in the game. It was the same for Long Fei. The system that he had was the game system, and everything was based on the rules of the game. However, there was one thing that he couldn't give to others, which was leveling up. Practical experience. Only by slowly experiencing it in a battle of life and death would he be able to understand that this kind of combat experience was extremely important. This was the reason why Long Fei did not let Desperate Man help him kill monsters. "He's here," Desperate Man warned and said. "There are 3 3-star monster, 2 dead stars, and 1 5-star. The other 2 are star monster. Can you bear them?" Long Fei's entire body was covered in blood. He was gasping for breath. The large wave of demon beast had drained most of his energy, and he was feeling extremely uncomfortable as he said faintly, "I can't take it. I have to carry it." His right hand moved. The demon's sword flashed with a red light. In the next moment, Long Fei charged forward. Kill. Rumble. 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 The Desperate Man had disappeared, and all the demon beast charged towards Long Fei, pressing down with an overpowering momentum. Long Fei was not afraid. He just didn't want to be scared. He just wanted to be tough. 2 hours later, S' entire body was wounded, blood dripping all over, and his clothes were drenched with sweat. This kind of vivid, fighting feeling made him feel indescribably satisfied and satisfied. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, Yellow Star Second Order. Continue. After leveling up, Long Fei's health point, holy power value, and the wounds on his body all healed in an instant. He immediately roared out, "Continue." Desperate Man was slightly astonished. He never thought that Long Fei would actually be able to kill him and level up. His consciousness seemed to have opened up a little. He felt as if he had seen Long Fei leveling up before, and he felt a little familiar with it. Could the person controlling his idea also level up like that? Desperate Man looked at Long Fei, who was rushing into the forest, and muttered to himself, "It's you? Or was there someone else? Who was it? Who planted an idea in my sea of consciousness?" Confusion. But the Desperate Man followed him. He believed that one day he would solve all the mysteries of the world, that he would know who he was, that he would know who controlled him. Rumble, rumble, come, all of you come to Lousy. Long Fei looked as if he had gone mad. The devil sword in his hand even shined with a dazzling bloody light as he let out an excited howl. Kill. Ding, ding, ding. 2 days later. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, Yellow Star rank 3. Continue. Long Fei killed the entire time without resting at all. He only had 2.5 months, and in these 2.5 months, he had to return to the God Rare sect. There must be a reason for it, where his mother had been. If Mother allowed an ordinary small sect in the God Rare sect to become one of the 10 sects S, then she would definitely make a name for herself in the 10 sects exchange. He wanted to go too. Go back the way your mother went, and know more about your mother. Long Fei wanted to know everything. That included whether her mother was the owner of the system. If she was, then she definitely knew who designed the system and developed it. If he could do it, he might be able to update the system to its most powerful state and destroy the heavens with a single move. 1 month passed. Rumble. When one of the 5-star monster fell, Long Fei would no longer be panting like before. It was also at this time. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing 5-star monster, for obtaining 10,000 experience points, 1,000 god power, and 1 metamorphic energy value. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, green star rank, level 1. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up and obtaining a special reward. Hearing the words special reward, Long Fei's pupils suddenly tightened. He swallowed a lot of saliva and muttered, special reward, and also special reward. Give me the reward 100 mushrooms. I don't want anything but 100 mushrooms. 9 levels in a month. The last special reward was 10 super mushrooms. Long Fei had incomparably saved up from 10 mushrooms, and every one of them were incomparably precious. Because the number of mushrooms was too small, they couldn't even create a big mushroom array. If he was given hundreds or thousands of mushrooms, Long Fei's mouth curved up, revealing a lewd smile. I can blast people into the sky. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining a special reward. The reward item is Sumi rings. Ring. Immediately, Long Fei was disappointed. What he wanted the most was Timo's mushroom. But, however, he gave her a small ring, and it seemed nothing out of the ordinary. Isn't Sumi rings just a space ring? What's the use of rewarding this thing? Long Fei was very unhappy. Anytime, he opened up the system to check the ring's attributes. After all, it was a reward from the system. According to common sense, the reward from the system would not be bad. Item: Sumi rings grade. Divine level description. Sumi rings can contain a region of heaven and earth. Description 2. Players can choose to enter the Sumi rings S. Looking at the description of the ring, Long Fei was a little stunned. What do you mean by one world? Could it be that you can still take down the heavens? This is too good at acting, isn't it? Look at how strong you say it is. Let's see how much you can take. Immediately, Long Fei moved his body, pointed to the huge mountain in the distance, and said, "First, put that mountain away." As soon as he finished, just as Long Fei was about to get angry, the Sumi rings moved and floated up to the air. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. With a few swishing sounds, the huge mountain peak in the distance slowly shrank before finally being sucked into the ring. The ring also returned to Long Fei's palm. Long Fei was dumbfounded. Holy shit, so fierce. It was a mountain that could not be seen, at least higher than the first peak on Earth, Everest, but it disappeared in the blink of an eye. This. Long Fei stood blankly in place for a long time without being able to recover. The desperate man in the dark was even more confused. He dared to swear that he had never seen something like this before. The most important thing was not this place. The most important thing was Long Fei himself could still enter the Sumi rings. At this moment, his idea checked the ring and discovered that there really was a humongous mountain within the ring, and countless demon beasts were roaring within the ring. Long Fei laughed. He smiled proudly. From now on, you don't have to go out to level up, haha. Why did it disappear again? Where's the mountain? What about that mountain peak? What's going on? A good mountain can suddenly disappear? Senior sister, what do we do now? That mountain is our coordinates. Without it, how are we to find the Holy Abyss Cliff? That's right. In another place, a group of 6 disciples, all dressed in the attire of Xian Yang's sect disciples, led by a woman who was an unrivaled beauty, Nielin. The top 10 new disciples were ranked 3rd. A talented person, Nielin looked at the original position of the mountain peak. She did not understand either. Why did a good mountain suddenly disappear? Could it be that that mountain peak had become a spirit? This time, she was bringing a mission with her, so she had to capture an 8-star war beast. Only by capturing an 8-star war beast would she be able to exchange for something she wanted. That mountain was her coordinates. Right now, the mountain peak had disappeared, and it wouldn't be long before they would get lost, and they wouldn't be able to find Holy Abyss Cliff at all. Nielin's brows slightly moved and said, "Let's not worry about that for now, and remember the direction of that mountain just now. Let's first go there, then we can talk. Even if it disappears into thin air, there will still be some traces left behind." Nielin made his decision quickly. There was only half a month left until the sect election. She had never entered the Xianyang sect before, so she thought that there was no problem with her powers. However, after entering the Xianyang sect, she realized that the senior brother was much stronger than she had imagined. She had to work even harder to get a place in the 10 sects' ranks for this exchange. "Let's go." Nielin ran into the forest like a vigorous cheetah. The surrounding 5 disciples quickly followed. The other one, 10 disciples, is ranked 3rd, the genius disciple of Xianyang sect, and also the only woman in 10 disciples. You escaped last time, but this time, I will never let you go. People of the Xiao Yao Palace. Last time, one of the people being beaten down from the back of the Iron Hand Eagle by Long Fei was still alive. This time, behind him followed a dozen or so disciples of Xiao Yao Palace, and a man who looked like an elder. 10 disciples had already gotten 3. If they could get Nielin back, this year's new disciples of the 10 sects would definitely get their hands on a new king. "Elder, we can attack at any time." The disciple walked up and respectfully said. The elder was also looking at the spot where the mountain had disappeared, feeling curious in his heart. He regained his senses and said faintly, "Don't worry, the disciples of the Xianyang sect are out on a mission, and they're also one of the 10 disciples. They might be secretly protected by an elder, and other than that, I want to know what they do for a living. Follow them first. Don't alert the snake." The elder stroked his beard, thinking in his heart, "I've lived for over 100 years, but I've never seen something like this. What is it? Could it be that it was a demon beast? Impossible, right? Or is it that some major power has moved him away? How much power does this require? This is unbelievable." Half a day later, Nielin suddenly stopped, looked around, frowned, and said, "We're lost." In this kind of super dense forest, if one didn't have the coordinates, it was very easy to get lost, even if it was a superpower house. "Senior sister, what do we do? Senior sister, why don't we go back? I'm already lost. It will be dangerous if I continue walking. I suggest that I go back first and make a detailed plan before coming over. After all, this mission still has half a month." Several disciples suggested. Nielin didn't want to give up and said, "How about this? The 5 of you go back first. I'll look for it myself. If I can't find it within 3 days, I'll also go back." "No way, senior sister. It's too dangerous for you to be here alone." "Exactly. If you want to stay, then stay with us. We'll accompany you in your search for the next 3 days." Everyone said. Nielin felt slightly grateful in his heart and immediately said, "Thank you, everyone. Senior sister, you are too polite. Without your guidance, we wouldn't have progressed so fast." Exactly. They had all received guidance from Nielin before, and within the short period of half a month, they had advanced by leaps and bounds. Nielin said, "Right now, with the mountain in the south as our coordinates, we will conduct a search and slow down. Everyone must be careful." Long Fei didn't know that because of a single sentence from him, that enormous mountain had disappeared, causing Nielin to lose his way. "This ring feels so good. Ha ha ha." Long Fei was grinning from ear to ear. "In the future, I don't need to go out to level, and the spirit grass and ores within the mountain are all mine, huh?" Long Fei moved. He said to another mountain, "Collect it for me as well." Ding! My holy power value is insufficient. Ding! System notification. Insufficient holy power value. Ruh! When Long Fei thought about using Su Mi Ring's holy power value once, the chrysanthemum suddenly tightened. Isn't this consumption a little too strong? Long Fei took out a large wave of divine spirit pills and swallowed them. Fortunately, I have a lot of divine spirit pills on me. Otherwise, I would really be a dead egg. Without the blue medicine, it was hard to move. As Long Fei swallowed the divine spirit pill, he was also thinking about how to make the Sumi rings sound the biggest. How big is a part of this world? Can you hold the entire Devil Island? Give it a try after I recover. How big was one side? It did not have a specific area, so Long Fei did not know either. It was a small universe on the surface, but there was a saying called 10 Directions Universe. After a good half a day, Long Fei finally filled up his holy power value. With his holy power value overflowing, Long Fei immediately became spirited. Let me see exactly how big one side is he. Immediately, Long Fei moved his hand, put the Devil Island inside. The Sumi ring's power dispersed. But, ding, system notification, insufficient holy power value. Long Fei took a look at his holy power value and said, not enough your head. He's clearly in peak condition. How can it not be enough? Suddenly, Long Fei's gaze tightened. Could it be that the holy power value of my 100,000 points is not enough to activate the Sumi rings? And if he prompts like this, then it means that the Sumi rings can continue stowing the Devil Island inside. How fierce is this? Isn't this too overpowered? Long Fei's blood seemed to be burning as he looked at the mountain peak on the other side and said, I'll take you in. The Sumi rings moved. Long Fei giggled. Another mountain. So there must be a lot of demon beast inside, right? Ha ha ha. At this time, Nielin was confused again. Why did it disappear again? You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.